Hello, Durud and Shalom. And hola. We're late. Sorry,
Hello.
guys. Hola, hola. Guys, we'll try not to be late ever. I try to always go live on time. I apologize. We'll try to be better at this. Sorry about that. Okay.
Sorry, Chad. I had some technical difficulties. It's all my fault. I promise you, it's not Armin's fault. It's my fault. I'm very sorry. Been monkeying
It's
with the cables and I messed it all up.
Oh my God. So, what, Monkey? How are you feeling today? This is how I like to start the show with, because I know you keep following everything, and sometimes when I see things escalating or de-escalating, I'm going to be honest with you. I'm going to admit something that I shouldn't probably admit online. I think about, what is Monkey thinking? What is Monkey thinking? Is the monkey going to be like, "Ooh, this is good" tomorrow, or is the monkey going to be like, "I don't like this"? So I'm like, So, Monkey, past 24 hours, stuff that has happened. How are we feeling?
I'm a little upset. I heard a
Oh,
rumor. I heard a rumor, made me
what?
kind of upset. I heard
What?
a rumor. I don't know if it's true. All right. So don't take this as like, a fact. This is just a rumor that like some kind of ceasefire deal was sent through Iraq. That pisses me off.
Yes, true. Is Ali Zaidi. Ali Zaidi, when he went to went to Iran to meet with Ghalibaf, apparently he had a deal with him from President Trump. Yep.
So I may have misunderstood, and this was earlier. This is not something within the past 24 hours of this ceasefire deal being communicated. This was something like last week
No, no,
when he came in.
no, it was in the past 24. Let me actually look at the date. So, Iraqi Prime Minister went to Iran. Did he have a deal with him from President Trump to Ghalibaf? So I think that you're correct. It's in the past 24 hours. No, you got it right. So why does that make you upset?
First of all, why is he going into Iran? We're bombing Iran. Did he just fly into Iran with a deal? This is what also confuses me because like for them to say, "Oh, he went to Iran with a deal," that would mean that he went to Iran and landed there within the past 24 hours, left Iraq
Mhm.
on his plane, knowing all these crazy 32 wild cards are out there, landed his plane, gave a deal within the last 24 hours. Like I don't know if I'm hearing old news that's being released within the last 24 hours, or if he actually landed there and actually gave a
Yep.
new deal. If he actually
Yep. So
landed
let
and
me
gave a
read.
new deal, I'm pissed. I'm pissed. Why are we talking to these people?
Let me give you the summary. Okay, it's exactly what you're saying it was. So, Iraqi Prime Minister Ali Al Zaidi delivered a ceasefire proposal from US President Donald Trump to top officials of the Islamic Republic, including Parliament Speaker Mohammad Bagher Ghalibaf, during his Tehran visit on July 23rd, 2026. However, leaders of the Iranian regime rejected the proposal, citing fundamental disagreements over Washington's policies in the Persian Gulf region.
My greatest fear is that Iran will give up its nuclear ambitions because it's going to seek other ambitions. They're going to be biological, they're going to be chemical, and they're going to be devastating. And they're going to kill so many people, and it may cause a worldwide outbreak because we're stuck on nuclear just like them. Their greatest weakness is that they're stuck on something we can detect from space. That's their greatest weakness. And we're not using that great weakness and their stubborn allegiance to it to go in and eliminate all of the regime. No, we're going to allow them to back up from nuclear and build something that's potentially worse. Because a nuke you hit on a target, that person get radiated. If those people start making an outbreak bomb, if they start mixing, I don't know, corona with rabies and Ebola, and they start lobbing those outside and using AI that we're giving to China for some reason so they can fucking do that, I'm gonna be, oh my god, this is the opportunity because of their adherence to nuclear to eliminate. The second they let go of nuclear, the case for us gets so much weaker to take care of that. And what they would do is disastrous for the world. We've already had biolabs being set up by China in California. We've arrested people that are connected to the CCP, making basically little Wuhans all in I think it was southern or central California. Like this is a real problem. The RGC's greatest weakness is how much they love nuclear, and if they let go of that weakness, we will not be able to tell what they're doing, and we will not be able to do anything about it. And it's
Um,
about me giving them ideas. I'm sure they have already had this idea, but they're stubbornly stuck on the thing they promised to their people, so they're not being smart. And I'm not the only one. This has been said on Fox. This has been said on by Newsmax, on I think even CNN. They love talking about outbreaks. So, I'm not breaking news here. This is open source intel that everybody has.
I don't know if I don't know about that, because if the Islamic Republic, I mean, in a deal, which is very unlikely, very very unlikely, uh, if they give up their nuclear weapons, that means that they're one of their most important the important deterrence capability. If they give up the enriched uranium that they already have, and they allow US observers to come inside Iran to make sure there's no enrichment facilities ever again, then that is one of the most important deterrence capabilities of the Islamic Republic being taken away from them, right? And also, if they have agreed to that, they probably also have agreed to the Strait of Hormuz being open to international, because that's the one thing that they will never give up, the enriched uranium, because they know how important that is for them to be able to hold back the world attacking them. So let me once. So if you take away that from them, then that means that there is nothing that stops the rest of the world to come and finish the job, especially Israel. So I think that after that, the Islamic Republic would be extremely vulnerable.
Yeah, I
Yes,
don't. I reject that completely. They may say, yeah, we're opening up the straits. We're letting you inspect whatever you want. We don't care. And if any of these sad penguins come out and start to protest about it, we'll kill them too. We'll kill anyone that goes against this deal. We'll kill anyone that goes against this deal, and we will kill anyone that goes against this regime. We're gonna have peace. We're gonna give you everything you want, but in secret, I'm gonna make my bio weapons. You sad penguins want to protest? Come out and protest. You want to meet your maker? I'll take you to him. You're not a life lover? I'll help you up. I'll take you straight to Allah. You want to go to the Gehenna or whatever it is these people go? You want to go? I'll fucking take you, because I need the power to survive. And if the only way to stay in power is letting these inspectors run this little red herring nuclear thing, let them run it. Let them go chase that nuclear thing while I build my bio weapon somewhere else. Let them chase it. Let them chase it. Let them come in. Let them have the straight. I'm going to build up my power. I'm going to use the oil and get the money to build up some nuclear stuff, some biological stuff, some chemical stuff that is disastrous, where I can just say, hey, I don't need nuclear, but the straight is mine in 10 years, in 20 years, because I have so
got it.
many chemical and biological weapons that I could start a worldwide outbreak. What you gonna do out about it? And they start showing some people, some Durkers or some pro protesters that they hate because they're evil, and start showing the effects of some virus they made on TV. They send the world into a worldwide pandemic. Oh my God, it's the T virus from Resident Evil. They got it, and they're gonna bomb us with it. The damage that they could do to the markets, real or unreal, is disastrous. Letting them hide
Got
behind
it.
nuclear is crazy.
So okay, I'm just going to paint a picture that what I think, how defanging them will end them, and then we go to the latest updates. um I think if the United States manages to, and this is a big if, because I think it's close to impossible to get them to do this, because they know that this would be the end of them, right? When we say defang, that means everything: nuclear, proxy, Strait of Hormuz. If they want to get, biological weapons, that anything. If you defang them, even if the United States doesn't finish the job with them, they're so vulnerable that Israel and the Iranian people will finish the job. Because even if United States holds back after that, the Israeli people will never hold back. The Iranian people will never hold back. and the United States has managed to defang the Islamic Republic for the Israelis and the Iranian people to finish the job. That's the way I see it. But you might be correct. I do
Look,
want
all I'm
to.
saying is I'm an American. I don't want to leave it up to Israel. I don't want to leave it up to any other nation. Like this is our problem. We are in this fight. I want to end this problem, and I want to end it forever. And forever doesn't come in a deal because they're going to lie in every deal, and they're going to build up. That's everything they've ever done in every deal. Lie and build up. I don't want to pass this on to Israel. You know, I like them. I'm not against Israel. I think they're great people. I think they're very capable. If anything, I want them with me in my effort to make sure I end them. That's the way I see it.
Well, President Trump and Princess Pahlavi and Prime Minister Netanyahu all communicated that ending the Islamic Republic is the job of the Iranian people. They could ease the process for them, but ending the job of the Islamic Republic is the job of the Iranian people. That's what all three of them have communicated that.
Yes, I understand that those people have said those things. That doesn't change what I'm saying. I stand by what I said. I want to end them. I want to go in. I want to go in. I want us to go in. If I could, I'd re-enlist right now. They won't let me because of the things that have happened to me. But if I could, I would re-enlist. I would do it myself. I would put myself on the line. I want to end these people forever. We can't put troops in. I'm tired of these people.
Well, I appreciate the fact that you have that passion to end these people. I really do appreciate that. By the way, guys, I see your super chats. I just want to make sure that we are all on the same page. So let's look at the most recent update, and then we'll go to your super chats.
Big development here. President Trump threatening to use seized Iranian funds, writing on Truth Social, quote, "From this point forth, any and all damages done to ships, cargo, or anything related thereto will be paid for by Iranian money that the United States has in its possession and controls. These damages may be very substantial, but nevertheless, this is the fair and equitable thing to do," end quote. Iran's foreign minister pushing back against the president on X, writing, quote, "Seizing another nation's assets to pay for unrelated future claims is an incendiary precedent. Those who celebrate or profit from such funds should remember, once governments normalize confiscation, no one's assets are safe. Ensuing chaos will not be pretty or peaceful."
Oh my God, this guy had the audacity. You're attacking other people's ships. They're collecting the damages from it. This is not ceasing. They're collecting damages, the cost of the damages that you inflicted on commercial ships and other people. What are you talking about?
Every cent they have is money they seized from another nation because they are not Iran. They are the IRGC.
Exactly.
Allison Center for National Security visiting fellow and former Israeli Prime Minister staffer Asher Friedman joins me now. Asher, is this the threat that finally gets Iran to actually negotiate?
Oh my God.
Thank you very much.
And you shouldn't be looking for actually negotiations. You should be looking for ending them. That shouldn't be your goal. There's absolutely nothing on earth that will make the Islamic Republic actually negotiate. It's in their DNA to want to end all of you. That is not going to change. Negotiations are just a buying time mechanism for the Islamic Republic so that they could plan your demise. That's what they have been doing since the beginning.
To actually negotiate.
Thank you very much, and good morning. We can see that this threat is clearly deeply worrying the Iranian regime, as we saw from the reaction by the foreign minister. The Iranian regime needs an economic lifeline in order to continue paying for the militias that are repressing its people, in order to continue paying for the military, which is disrupting the traffic in the Strait of Hormuz, threatening its neighbors, in order to rebuild its military and nuclear capabilities going forward. This step, President Trump's threat, I think, is a very smart move, and clearly Iran is nervous. I would say that it's time to take the next step and to systematically threaten and destroy all of the facilities which are bringing in millions of dollars to the IRGC, to the Iranian Ayatollah regime, so that they're really faced with a choice. Either agree to...
I don't know why they're not trying... I understand if they need to destroy some of the dual use infrastructure, if it's required, why they should do it. But I don't understand why not try continuing with taking out the leaders before you try that. Like, shouldn't that be the priority? Like, shouldn't it be like, just let Israel go do and just take out the rest of the leadership and see what that does before before we go after the infrastructure? Shouldn't that be the order of things?
Look, I talked about the bingo cheat. I was bringing it up, I think, in our last stream. Like, I want to see when if you're taking a head for an eye, those are the heads I want to see roll. Like, this is something went over yesterday. If we're taking a head for an eye, where are the heads? It's the heads on the bingo sheet. That's a head for an eye. Otherwise, what are we doing this? Anything else is an eye for an eye. If we're taking a head for an eye, we're taking the heads of their state, the heads of their occupation force over Iran. That's the heads that should be rolling. That's a head for an eye, like the president said. That's the heads I want. The heads of the IRGC, the heads of the judicial, the heads of that have the most blood on their hands.
Yeah, I think, again, I know a lot of people are going to disagree with me, but I think the reason why they're not doing that is because that's Israel's specialty, and I can hear already people disagreeing with me on this. I think that's Israel's specialty to do that, and I think that allowing Israel in, which they might do, by the way, in the next couple of hours, even, or few days, but the reason why they haven't done so far is because Israel wants unrestricted access when they get the green light. They don't want to get half a green light. They want to get, if they come, they want to be like, you know what, we have a list, and we don't want to take out half of our list. We want to take all of our list out. So if we're in, we have to be in. That's what I think is happening.
No, what you're talking about is, like, I'll explain the military side of this. If you take out half the lift, the other half is going to harden. They're going to change their patterns. They're going to change how they function. So if sometimes you don't want to hit any one of them, it may be because you're making all of them vulnerable. All of them share a communication tactic that you've infiltrated. All of them share a communication node or a communication human resource, like someone on the ground, a group of people on the ground that they're in contact with. And if you take out 2 or 3 of them, then you won't be able to get all of them. I understand that, but my response to that would be, well, then take them all out. Make all their heads roll. Like, we
Yes.
could share intel. We could go in with you. Like, hey, Israel, buddy, brother, come here. You know what? Eye for a head. Some heads got to roll. I heard you got a list. You're like Santa. You're checking it twice. So let's lay down some lumps of coal on these motherfuckers. You know what I'm saying? Let's get in on this. Take them all out. Then, if you can't take out one by one, and you got to take them all out, just because strategically taking out a few warns too many of the ones that get left. If that's the problem, we can fix that problem by taking them all out.
Yeah, so no more no kill lists to Israel. Don't give Israel like, oh, here are the people that you don't kill. End it with the no kill list.
Have an all kill list.
Yes.
America's terms, or face a devastating economic blow, which may bring the downfall of the regime.
Just quickly, help me understand the logic on this, because if we already have the money in our possession, and Iran is not currently using that money to fund its war effort, to fund its country, then how does that increase our leverage against Iran in the short term? Again, if we have the money and they don't, what's changing?
Well, Iran was hoping that via the negotiations, via the MOU, a future agreement, that money would be transferred back to Iran. They were really counting on that. They were hoping that the Qataris and others would be helpful in bringing those frozen assets back into the bank accounts of the Ayatollahs, of the IRGC. And to be fair, that was raised in the discussions over the MOU. Now, President Trump is making clear that as long as Iran keeps disrupting traffic in the Straits, that's not going to happen. And that money is going to go specifically to the Gulf countries, to the other countries that are suffering.
You know why I think what President Trump is genius? Like, guys, I don't like to announce 5D chess moves before they happen, because to me it seems like people are just wishful thinking, but I do like announcing 5D chess moves after they happen, because it's not wishful thinking anymore. It already happened. Okay. So I think this is an 5D chess move to first collect the money from the oil sale, thinking that it's going to translate into corn, soybeans, and hay. And then after you already gave the Americans the money, then they're going to tell you that, oh, we're going to collect damages from the stuff that you're hitting. I don't know. I think that's a 5D chess move. If they're
Listen, many people were against the MOU, myself included. Like I thought, look, we need it for resupply. I knew why some of the reasons were. We talked about some of those reasons. Some of those reasons were giving time to defang Hezbollah, to defang Iraq, and having Lebanon and Iraq rid itself of some of its layers of corruption. We were looking at the economic side, right? We were taking away anyone who was funding money surreptitiously through other forms of banking or directly through corruption to the IRGC. We were taking care of that. But one of the things that the MOU did was create that escrow account that gave us a legal framework to hold their money and give it to whoever we want. So the MOU gave us that escrow account, gave us that legal framework. Now we legally hold their money. And now we're like, hey, you know what? Don't worry if you're a Persian Gulf ally and you're worried, hey, if we don't end or make a deal, it's going to hurt me economically. Don't worry. We'll pay you out of their pocket. We're going to use their money to help you fight them. Like, I think that's a good position to be in. And I think just confiscating as much oil as possible and saving it for the people, like the people of Iran, I don't know this for a fact, but they would rather that the money be given for restitution on damaged vessels that the IRGC damaged than the money be given to the IRGC. This would be my estimate. What do you think? Would they prefer that? Do I give the money to IRGC, or do I give it to this shipping company that got hit by the IRGC? What do you prefer, Iranian people?
Oh, they prefer the IRGC gets nothing. They would prefer if you had to burn the money or give it to the IRGC, they would like burn the money.
Exactly.
Yes. So obviously, yeah. By the way, Sarah was asking in the chat, did Trump actually vow regime destruction, or are we just saying that? I mean, you tell me. He posted this on social media, on Truth Social. He posted this picture on Truth Social, this article with the title, Trump orders CENTCOM to open the gates of hell after U.S. troops killed launches strikes on Iran. So, do you think that would be the correct title?
I mean, what happened with oh my God, what's the guy's name from Iraq? He went over there, right?
Ali Zaidi.
Ali Zaidi. They're Ali, not our Ali.
Yeah.
The Iraq Sully. Iraq Sully. We're gonna call him Iraq Sully.
Iraq Sully. Yes. Yes. So yeah, I mean, he posted this himself.
Like he goes back and forth on this so much. I don't know if he's just messing with them, letting them think there might be a deal and there won't be a deal. This is where I'm like, look, I'm confused. How are we taking a head for an eye and no heads have gone down? How are we opening the gates of hell, but we're sending a ceasefire deal? Like, these things confuse me. My only hope is that the enemy is even more confused than I am.
Yes, they are. So Emperor Pause is saying, when was this? The article was 3 days ago, but Trump posted it 2 days ago. So that's when he posted this. Let me go back to this summary of everything.
From Iran's disruption of shipping.
Interesting. All right, that makes sense. Meantime, a lot of news this week was made with regard to the Saudi nuclear deal. President responding, addressing that deal on Truth Social. Quote, the civil nuclear deal being made between the United States Department of Energy and Saudi Arabia will be approved, but is totally subject to Saudi Arabia joining the very respectful and successful Abraham Accords. Asher, is that ever going to happen?
I think it should happen. The Abraham Accords can create this new regional architecture of peace, prosperity, economically.
Yeah, I wish he answered the actual question, because yes, obviously, if the Abrahamic Accord happening, that would be good. That's not the question. The question is, will it happen? That's the question I wanted to hear the answer to.
Leadership, innovation, security for the United States, for Israel, and for all of the United States' Arab and Muslim partners in the region. And Saudi Arabia can play a key part in that. So there's a lot of underlying logic. We've seen ever since the Abraham Accords were signed, even despite the regional disruptions, we see trade, economic ties going up and up and up. I had the opportunity to testify in Congress on Wednesday about the future of the Abraham Accords. And one of the things that I told Congress was that Israel-Saudi normalization is a very important goal. But to be honest, there are more than 24 Arab and Muslim countries that don't have relations with Israel. And I think that Israel and the United States should work together to expand the circle of peace to a very broad range of Arab and Muslim countries, not just Saudi Arabia.
It would be a game changer if it happened. Saudi Arabia somewhat pushing back. We will see in the coming days, weeks, and months what ultimately happens. Asher Fredman, thank you for your time and your insight.
Okay, before I do the super chats, I just wanted to show this picture because we kept on showing the picture of Isabella, and I felt really bad because I felt like we're not being fair to the other 3 servicemen that lost their life. So here's all 4 of them, all 4 servicemen that just recently lost their lives, serving their country. Just wanted to make sure that
I'm sorry. I've been a little bit out of the loop doing some stuff. I don't know the name of the 2 that we haven't seen before. Maybe we could just read the list of the 4 of them.
Yeah,
and,
so what's
and
the
if
name
you have
of
the
the
information where
4
they're from.
servicemen that recently died in military operations in U.S. bases around Iran? So let me just get their names. Yeah, the other 3 are not getting as much attention. It's just mostly okay. So, Isabella Gonzalez, 19, from Texas. Tyler James Feehan, I don't know if I'm reading this right, age 25, from Hawaii. Sergeant Angel Ramp. You know what? I don't know if I'm reading these right. Monkey. I'll put their names in the chat, and then you could read them because I don't know how to pronounce some of these names. Okay. So.
Okay.
So let me put all their 4 names in the chat, and then you could read them. I'm bad at pronunciation of names.
All right. First Lieutenant Tyler James Feehan, Sergeant Angel S. Rampersad, Private Isabella Gonzalez, Sergeant Michael Emmanuel Swinton. Okay.
Did I get them right as well?
I think you did good.
Okay. Thank you, all of them and their family, for their service, and condolences to all who have been affected. Thank you.
There is, I think one of these pictures doesn't line up because I got James, Isabella, Angel, and Michael, but there's 2 females.
So what about my list? Is my list correct?
I think that I don't know which one this female is.
My list has 2 females.
Oh, I'm so sorry. I read the wrong list. Okay, First Lieutenant Tyler James Feehan, Private Isabella Gonzalez, Sergeant Angeles Rampersad, Sergeant Michael Emmanuel Swinton. Could it be Michelle? And I'm reading it wrong?
No,
that's not usually how you write Michelle.
Okay. Well, thank you.
I apologize.
No, that's okay. That's okay. Okay, so Sarah is saying the list is correct. Thank you, Sarah. Thank you. Man, Sarah is saying, may their memory be a blessing. R.I.P. Thank you. Yes, Angel is a girl's name. Angel is female. That's what I said. Okay, let's go back to President Trump. Let me see what he said over here.
I just want to point out, like in Spanish, we say Angela, and they both look Latina. So I was confusing to me, but it's very possible the chat is absolutely correct because in English, Angel is a girl's name. It's a female name. So I apologize.
That's okay.
This is with this skirmish we have with the Islamic Republic of Iran. And I call it that because let me tell you, they're getting hit so hard and they want to make a deal. But I say they're not ready to make a deal. Because every time they make a deal, they want to change it and everything. They're not ready. They'll be ready very soon. This is
Okay, so I liked it until the very end because he says they are not ready to make a deal. What I want to hear is the understanding of the fact that they're never ready to make a deal. So the very end, he says they will be ready soon.
and everything. They're not ready. They'll be ready very soon. This is
Yep. So just a correction: the Islamic Republic will never be ready to make a deal.
This is
I understand.
why I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
This is why I'm looking forward to that Marco Hegseth ticket. Rubio Hegseth should be the next, and we're skipping JD Vance. We're going straight for Rubio Hegseth for the next election.
God, that's too good.
You would not be angry at that ticket. You'd be like, yeah, I could go for that.
Oh my God, that's the dream. That would be the dream. Isn't it that? Did you came up with that combination, or did you hear that somewhere else?
I mean, it makes sense to me. I don't know if I've heard it before, but it makes sense to me. I don't think I've heard it before, actually. But those are the two names that jump out at me as showing themselves as having experience and being able to, have the correct attitude and disposition, intellect and experience to deal with all kinds of things all over the world. So I would go with Rubio because of the political side, and I would go with Hegseth because of the military side, right? Because Rubio is more of a politician, but he's a very experienced politician and has a very good feel for problems around the world and at home. And Hegseth has that military experience that is needed when you're actually dealing with the problems around the world. I don't know that Vance's military experience is that vast around the world. I don't know exactly what he did while in service. But it's not showing through because he himself says he doesn't understand. It's like, well, okay, I'm not hiring you then. And Trump is a man of his time. Like for his time, he is the correct person. He's a bull in a china shop, had to break how things were being done in the past, calling things like they were. But I think his experience coming more for business and realty makes him really reticent to destroy things when he's a builder. Like in his heart, it is there to build. In his heart, he makes structures for people to live and share with their families. Every time you break a building, it hurts them. All right, and I understand that. Like that's a good thing. That's a warm thing. That's something that's good to have in a leader, and I respect it. But sometimes you got to break stuff.
Got it. Let's go to. Wait, actually, before I go to the next one, I want to respond to the super chats. AP Moto Arts, thank you so much for the super chat saying you have got to play Senator Tim Sheehy's 5-minute speech on all your streams today. Epic. Okay, let me actually look for it. I don't even know did I pronounce his name right?
I don't know. Sheehy?
Tim Sheehy. 5 minutes, you say. Okay, I think I found it. Seems like it's a big deal. Okay, I'm adding it to our list of today's videos for sure. Okay. Let me see. Ooh. A president of a lifetime who refuses to kick the problem down the road. Okay, this seems like it's going to be a treat. Thank you for the suggestion. Wow, it looks like it's going to be a really good treat. So
Chat is telling me it's Sheehy. I got it wrong. My bad, chat.
It's okay. Thank you, AP. I'll you know what? Actually, because of your suggestion, we're going to watch this right after we read the super chats. It seems like it's a badass speech, but it looks like, yeah, it's getting a lot of attention. Amir the Cricket, thank you so much for five membership gifts for the people in the chat. Thank you so much, Amir. Always supporting us, always very kind. And then Sherry with a super chat saying, yes, Monkey, time to be selfish. Yes. Yeah.
I mean, we could call it selfishness, but they've been at this for 47, 48 years. Like they've been
Yes.
after us for a long time. They've caused us damage for a long time. I don't want to leave it in anybody else's hand. I'll take some partners in the venture. Like I don't mind having all those people in that base near the Gulf, the Gate of Tears. I don't mind them joining in if they're going to keep that side in check. I don't mind France helping out, China helping out, even though I don't like their economic model and their leadership. If they want to help, let them help. I don't mind having France help out a little bit. I probably need. I wouldn't say I need, but I definitely would do well to have along my side Israelis and Israeli intelligence. Right. This is something I definitely. But I want it in our hands, and I want the end to be forever. I want the end of the IRGC in all its intent, form, and function. One thing Trump said was, I'm going to destroy them like I did ISIS. ISIS is not like a very operational thing. It's basically, it's a dead entity. People use the name for clout, but as an entity, it's gone. That's how I want to see the IRGC.
Right. And then we got another super chat from Lior. Lior is saying, تو واقعا یک میهم پرست قوی هستی. دوست دارم. Oh, thank you, Lior. Lior is saying you are a true patriot. You're truly a great patriot. I love you. I love you too, Leo. Thank you. I appreciate that. That's very sweet. Sherry with a super chat saying the Iranian money should be used for care for our injured and for the families of the fallen. Well, you mean the money that the Islamic Republic is using, right? Because the Iranian hopefully, yeah, I mean, a lot of that, I agree with you. A lot of that should be used for that. Yeah. The money that the Islamic Republic has stolen from the Iranian people, that money should be used, for that as well. Yes.
Yeah, as an alternative, we could use it to destroy them. Like we pay good taxes for that. I want those families to be taken care of. But as an alternative, we just also use it to end this war. Use it to create a transitional government. Use it to give the reins to organizations like Nufti, where they can come in and have a better organization and have better normalized relationships with the Gulf states, with the Gulf, Persian Gulf allies, and with the rest of the world. Like there's those funds could be you doing so much good if we just went ahead and just ripped the head off the Band-Aid, took these heads out, start a new government.
Yeah, so Sherry, it should be used, part of it should be used for the families of the fallen and the family of the Iranian people's fallen as well. The American people's fallen, the Israeli, but Iranian people, we have also lost tens of thousands of Iranians have been killed by the Islamic Republic. So the money that the Islamic Republic has stolen from the Iranian people needs to go back to the Iranian people and be used for the family of the Iranian people's fallen as well. And thank you, Sherry, for your support.
Just to be clear, I think Nufti would do that. Nufti would do that,
yes.
Right? Exactly. Okay.
Yes, 100%. Well, I think the Nufti is. Yeah, let me just finish my point. Yeah, so what was I saying? Yeah, so Nufti is an American institution that is laying the groundworks for the transitional government. The transitional government, that will be the transitional government's responsibilities. Yes, for sure. So Nima, thank you for the super chat saying happy Friday. Green smoothie on me, Armin John. A banana bunch for the monkey for all your hard work. Iran freedom soon. Payande Iran, and Javid Shah. Thank you, Nima. I appreciate that. Shauna with the super chat saying team unleash the Israelis. Yes, I'm on that team as well. Unleash the Israelis completely with no limitations. 100%.
Morning, Shauna. Thank you.
Yes. And then morning all. Fleshy Interloper saying, morning all. Morning. Morning, Fleshy. Great to have you here. It's not a complete show without Fleshy being here. Oh, and you started this comment. You want to respond to this?
SAR D18 says the Marines in Beirut need righteous justice. Reagan made a big mistake when he did nothing. I think that what happened in Beirut is often forgotten and not in these conversations. I think these specific attacks should be specifically brought up more, especially by our leadership.
Yes. So, guys, if people don't know, the Marines and other servicemen, other than the Marines, a lot of them were killed. Guys, do you hear Monkey's background because his mouth is moving, or is it just me? Let me know if it's you're hearing it as well, or if
It's an audio loop thing. When you talk, sometimes it reacts to you, and it just wants to imitate you because you're such a great person.
Thank you. Oh, echo. People are saying echo. Okay, so the audience is hearing it too. Thank you, guys. Thank you for reporting to us. So yeah, guys, it was not just the Marines. It was many Marines in 1983. I think it was the many American servicemen and personnel were killed in Beirut by Hezbollah, which is basically the same as the Islamic Republic, and many Americans don't know that, and they should. And oh, Amy with a super chat saying, show the video of the Durkas marching with cardboard cutouts of Supreme Leader. I will do that for you guys today. So I'll thank you, Amy, for the reminder. I'll add that to the list as well. It's actually the chant that they're doing is very telling as well. So thank you for the reminder. I'll add that to my list for today. Let's go to the first request that we had. Yeah.
One thing I wanted to say, I think this organization is maybe like there's always someone new and there's always new people. Maybe we haven't talked about it a lot. So I put the link for Nufti in the chat with their mission statement so you guys can familiarize yourself with that and give it a look. They also have great information on the kind of infiltration that NIAC and NAIR and other organizations are doing, so you can actually tell your friends and neighbors how this affects you locally. They have a great PDF on this that we went over in another show. So I'm just putting it out there for those who don't know.
All right. Okay, let's go over here. The talk about the speech that was recommended to us.
The senator from Montana.
Thank you, Mr. President. Yesterday, we saw the President of the United States and many others at Dover Air Force Base presiding over a ceremony that is very sacred to those of us who served, and that is a dignified return of remains from the war zone. And that process happens beginning in the war zone through Dover to the hometown of our fallen heroes. I participated in many of those ceremonies myself, to include carrying friends of mine off the plane. One of those is on this bracelet. He was cut in half by an Iranian EFP. This regime that we are fighting does not care about our partisan politics. They don't care who you voted for, who you pray to, or where you live. They want to kill all of us. And they don't just say it, they actually do it. And they've been doing it for 47 years. This is a war of choice. The Democrats are correct. It's a war of choice that was begun by a radical, lunatic band of terrorists that took over a beautiful nation 47 years ago. Took it over with brutality, force, and savagery. And the second they took it over, they didn't free their people. They didn't unleash the largest oil reserves in the world to build schools and bridges. They took it over to murder their own people and to spread their disgusting ideology across the world. And that is exactly what they have been doing. They don't just say it and talk about it. You don't have to believe what they say. You can simply watch what they've done. They have attacked families, women, children, innocent people. They don't just attack them and kill them. They rape them. They skin them alive on camera. They celebrate it. They honor those people who do disgusting things that we would put in jail for the rest of their lives in this country. And they do it for fun, and they pay them money to do it, and they're heroes to that nation. They've done it to friends of mine. They've done it to families who've been in this chamber. And the fact that we sit here and listen to elected officials of this country defend these lunatics who want us all dead. They want all of you dead. They want all of us dead. They don't want us to disappear with the snap of a finger. They want us to be raped, burned alive, and cut into pieces. Watch the video from October 7th. That's what they want to happen from Maine to San Diego, from Seattle to Miami. They want this country turned into a burning husk of its former self. And you don't have to theorize that. That's what they do. From the 1983 barracks bombing, where 280 Marines were vaporized in a morning, from USS Cole to the Achille Laurel to every terrorist attack, from the Houthis, Hezbollah, Hamas. These are not humanitarian freedom organizations. They are death-dealing cults, and they want all of us to die brutal deaths. William Buckley was abducted in 1985, an American military officer. He was skinned alive on camera by the Iranians. American prisoners of war who were captured. They were never called prisoners of war because they were captured by lunatic terrorists, so they were not subject to the Geneva Convention. They were captured and murdered, power drills through their brains. This is in Iraq. These are families that have dealt with this, and they've never gotten a single dime. These families have never gotten restitution, and not a single president has ever stood up to them. Love Donald Trump or hate him. Love his policies, hate ICE, love ICE, whatever. There's never been a single president who has stood up to Iran and hit back. For 47 years, our troops and our families have been absorbing attack after attack after attack all over the world. And their radical ideology does not stop at the Persian Gulf. It doesn't stop at Tel Aviv. They want to do this everywhere. It's a global radical ideology. And we've been fighting it for half a century. We didn't start this war. We did not, but we will finish it. And forever wars are not popular with anybody these days. Both sides of that, I love to attack our forever wars. And I can promise you, being someone overseas wearing the uniform, when you're fighting for your country, you don't care what party's in office, but you're fighting to defend your country. And you turn on the news and see your elected officials stabbing you in the back, telling you that you're failing, that you've failed every goal of the war. Is what I just heard. Last time I checked, we've wiped these bastards out. An occasional missile strike and boats in the Straits, that's not military strength. Those are the flailings of a failing empire. Those are the flailings of a nation in collapse because they deserve it. So I encourage our colleagues on both sides of the aisle, whatever's politically convenient, whatever plays well on Twitter or Facebook, think about the people who are deployed right now, standing on that wall with a loaded weapon, who have volunteered to defend our country and our way of life. Because they are there defending us in a just war. Because we did not start a war with the Iranian Revolutionary Guard. They started it with us 47 years ago, and their attacks have gone unanswered for half a century. It's time to fix this problem and make sure another generation of Americans does not have to fight this murderous, savage adversary. Thank you, Mr. President.
Oh my God, this person is fantastic. Holy crap. That was the best speech on this topic I've ever heard. I don't know who this guy is, but he's my new hero. Holy crap. That was amazing. That was 5 minutes of pure gold.
Yeah. What's his name again?
Tim, Senator
Tim
from
Sheehy.
Montana. That's what. What? No, I don't know how to pronounce his.
Yeah,
last name.
I'm following him right now. I'm following him right now.
God.
Okay, I found his Twitter. I want to put it in the chat. I want everybody to keep an eye on this guy. Right? This guy's a rock star. He's a patriot, and you know, he's telling it like it is. All right. So I put his name in the chat. I'm gonna follow him right now, and I appreciate every single word he said there.
What was that? Without notes, with no notes, no reference, not a single pause. The content was 10 out of 10. The delivery was 10 out of 10. The passion was 10 out of 10. This is the greatest speech I've ever heard in my life.
Well, he doesn't. This is like he. I don't think he ever wrote that down.
Yeah,
I
I
don't think he
know.
has to because he lived it, right? He looks at that thing and he knows what he has to say. He looks at that armband that he has right there and he knows what he has to say. So he doesn't have to, like, sometimes I'll go off on a rant. I'm nowhere near as eloquent or as precise
That's
as he
crazy.
is, but like I don't script anything. Sometimes you go off into deeply detailed subjects and you're not reading off a script. So I think everything he said is from the heart. And that's why we should follow him because he has a good heart. And that's why I put the link in there for you guys. I won't put it in there again. That's a team Hishi. No, Shihi. Said it backwards. Tim Sheehy from Montana, if I remember right. Yeah. Yep, Montana's U.S. senator. I think he's a rock star. He's a hero. He's a patriot.
Wow, that was pretty good. That was amazing. That was fantastic. Yeah, we got a super chat from Fleshy Interloper saying powerful speech. Yeah, 100%. And then we got another. Thank you, Fleshy Interloper. And then we got another super chat from Shauna with another super chat. Thank you, Shauna, saying Maine to San Diego, Seattle to Miami. They want us dead from sea to shining sea. Standing ovation for him. Yes, absolutely, absolutely. That
Yes,
was
correct. And
so
thank you.
so perfectly worded, so perfectly delivered. This man, oh my god! And I also, you know what I appreciated the most? The beginning where he talked like he talked so aggressively against the Islamic Republic, and he was so he didn't forget the Iranian people. He didn't just talk about how brutal and evil the Islamic Republic is to Americans. He at before he even talked about that, he mentioned the Iranian people. He mentioned what we have lost, what the Iranian people have lost, and he acknowledged how amazing we were before the Islamic Republic. So he differentiated the Iranian people from the Islamic Republic in the most beautiful way. And before he talked about the American loss from the Islamic Republic, he talked about our loss, the Iranian people's loss because of the Islamic Republic. I so appreciate that he said that. Thank you. And yes, AP, thank you so much. AP saying you're welcome. Tim is a SEAL. Oh, really? I didn't know that. Navy SEAL? Is that what you mean by saying
Yeah,
SEAL?
go. Yes, thank you. Shauna has
Mm.
a little bit more detail on that.
Okay. And thank you again, AP Moto Arts. I would have never. I don't know if I would see it in this. You guys, we saw this because of AP Moto Arts. So thank you. And then Shauna is saying former Navy SEALs, Purple Heart, and Bronze Star, born in Minnesota, serving as a senator from Montana. Wow. Okay. Thank you, Shauna. That's great information to have. Yeah. Thank you, Shauna. And Amir joking around saying that's what he said. Okay. Is that how you say it? Yeah. Thank you, Amir.
Yeah,
Thank you.
apparently that's the correct pronunciation. I wanted to there's a comment here that was made about me and I appreciate it very much. Understanding the Islamic Republic is so easy, even a grease monkey can do it. Yes, if you pay a little bit of attention to the past, their present, you know their future. Right? It is very easy if you look at the people who know about it, like Tusi, Goldie, Armin, Ali, these people that have some information on it. I mean, they attack the problem from different angles, but it's the same it's the same result. You're gonna have a better understanding of who these people are. It's so easy, even a monkey can do it. Just pay a little bit of attention. Look at these podcasts, look a little bit into their past and their present, and you will know their future. So that's all we need, just a little bit, put a little bit of effort in it, and just like you can even go above monkey level. Like I made myself a monkey. I don't think I'm better than anyone. When I'm saying that you can do it, I believe it. You can understand these people, and they're not good people. They're not good for the people of Iran. The RGC are terrible.
Yeah, exactly. And yeah, Monkey has become like Monkey learns very fast. So I really appreciate his passion. I appreciate his interest. You know what I appreciate most for Monkey is his general care for people everywhere. Right? That's what I appreciate most about him.
A monkey
Um,
see a monkey do. You're a great example.
Thank you. Oh, we got another super chat saying from Push-Ups. Thank you, Push-Ups, saying, I'm in a bad mood. Can Monkey please chimp out at a video game price? At video game prices and push for digital only. You express my rage well. Okay. So, I don't know about video game
I'm going to
prices.
tell you what the problem is right now. The problem is rights. We don't have the rights. Like, you could today make these things digital. You can make these things physicals. But we have a problem. We had a problem about this, and we took it up with the Stop Killing Games. Stop Killing Games was about a physical game called Drive, right? I think it was Drive 2. The problem here is that we don't get the rights. If it's digital only, physical only, we need to have our rights. The right to property is one of the most fundamental rights we have. And if we don't have the right to property, they get to kill our games. They get to kill systems within our cars. We have cars now that you can't even open the hood. You can't even open the hood. You have to take it to a service station. That's your property. You should be able to repair your property. They're making themselves, they're trying to set forth this you will own nothing and you will be happy, in which even the things you own, they're basically licensed to you. Don't get to own them. You get to have them licensed. And that is a big problem. He is absolutely right. And you know what? I thank you, Push-Ups, for bringing this up. We are here at Liberty Politics, and you should have the liberty, if you paid for that game, to keep it. You can't make everything an eternal license, then stop software support. You should still have the right to make your own server, do your own thing. I'm not telling you that you have to basically, as a company, support this software, but there should be an out. There should be a way for you to own this and use it forever because you paid for it. And I think in the chat, someone is talking about Louis Rossman, who speaks well about this. And what he has done for our digital rights is an amazing thing. I think the guy is wonderful. And this is just for you, Push-Ups, just for you. I want to put up a video in the chat that you're going to see. And it's specifically about not just the physical and digital rights, but the rights to all of property that is being taken by these companies so that you can't repair your stuff yourself.
All right. Thank you for that. Push-Ups. You got your rent that you wanted. Thank
I feel
you.
better
And
now.
Alexia, thank you for the super chat. Saying, Durud Army June, Monkey June, Durud Alexia June, saying, Havoto Daram, Manam Havoto Daram, Damit Gam. I heard Jeffrey speak like this without notes. Yes, he does that often. I thought Jeff used to read stuff, then spoke to him. Oh, okay. Thank you, Alexa. Thank you always for Merci ki havamunu dari. Damit Gam. Mamnun azad. Okay. So Arakchi just came out. This is in Persian, right? This is the foreign minister of the Islamic Republic. He just came out. This is in Persian, so I'm not going to play it. He just basically said, we will not respond to force, pressure, or threats. Preserving Iran's rights in the Strait of Hormuz is one of our principles. What about everyone else's rights? This is so they're so annoying with these like, oh, we're gonna preserve our rights in the Strait of Hormuz. You're violating everyone else's rights in the Strait of Hormuz. You do know that you don't own the Strait of Hormuz, right? You do know that this is an international water route that everybody should have access to. Like, oh, we're not gonna let people take away our rights in the Strait of Hormuz. Mother Tucker, you're the one who's taking everyone else's rights. Nobody's taking away your rights at the Strait of Hormuz. You're violating everyone else's rights at the Strait of Hormuz. The audacity of them saying that. Oh, they go, we're going to protect our rights. You're the one who needs protecting against.
Absolutely. I mean, I kind of like watching you chimp out too. Like, let it out. Get it out of your system. Hell yeah.
Like, oh God, what about rights? God damn it. What an idiot. Oh, we got another super chat. Alexia is saying, Armin, do you know I can get arrested here for showing defiance to the IRGC in South Africa? Is that true? Lion and Sun flag can have me in jail. We're not safe here. I thought in South Africa you're not safe because of anti-white racism. I didn't know that that was the case. Is that real? Or is that true? I have to look that up. That's crazy if that's true. Did not know that. I'll look into it, Alexia. That is odd. That's crazy. I mean, I know the government of South Africa is like pro the BS Palestine cause, the axis of resistance. They're anti-Zionist, anti-American BS. But I don't know if there's any laws in South there that criminalizes displaying the lion and sun flag. But however, there is legitimate. There probably does it doesn't matter if it's in the law, because how many people are anti-Israel, anti anything that is anti-RGC. There's probably people there who might see this as like a pro-Israeli thing, maybe. So yeah, maybe there's that. Maybe activists in South Africa, like, or maybe there's terrorists of the regime there that could be a threat to you. So just whatever the reason is, take care of yourself and be safe. That is horrible. Sorry to hear that.
Yeah,
Fleshy
South Africa
interloper.
has problems.
Yeah, bigger problem, major problems. There are some people in South Africa that are like, can we go back to apartheid? That's what some people say in South Africa. They're not even white. Fleshy interloper, thank you so much for the super chat, saying, let Marines, Mossad, and IDF negotiate the deal. As long as it's a surrender deal. As long as it's a surrender deal. I'm okay with negotiating a deal as long as it's a deal to end you. As long as it's a deal that you accept defeat and you bend the knee. Whoever wants to negotiate a deal, as long as it's like we give up, you win. This is the end of us. Anybody could negotiate that deal. The only thing is it has to be that deal. And thank you, Fleshy, for the super chat. Tindley with a super chat saying, Armin Navabi, more like R Chimp Banana Bee. Oh my god, but okay.
That's funny. That's
Okay. But thank you. Okay. All right. This is a look at this. They go over all the potential targets that could happen if we see escalations pick up, kind of like Operation Epic Fury. Let's look at the list of targets and see what you think, what everybody here thinks is good, which one is going to be. Maybe all of them. Hopefully, why not all of them? But let's look at the potential targets here, see if they get all of it.
So let's take a look at the power plants and places that we might be able to hit. Lucas, as you see these as targets, what do you think we might hit first?
Well, I don't know if we'll hit it first, but the Damavad plant supplies 40% of Tehran's electricity. The Bashir nuclear power plant, probably not likely a target. The Russians built this. They still supply Iran with low-enriched uranium.
Because, Lucas, we should say there's a risk to blowing up a nuclear plant.
There's no question.
So, guys, the Damavad power plant, that is near Tehran. So I'm assuming if they hit that one, Tehran will run out of a lot of power. The Bushehr one is way more dangerous to hit than in the places where they enrich uranium, right? So I heard some experts talk about this. If you hit the facilities that enrich uranium, the ones that are deep underground, that is not that dangerous to the environment that much, okay? The places where they, so there is a place that they enrich the uranium, and then they take the enriched uranium and they go to this power plant in Bushehr, for example, and they're supposed to turn the enriched uranium there to electricity, okay? I mean, their actual purpose is a nuclear bomb at some point, but the Bushehr power plant takes the enriched uranium and turns it into electricity. The power plant where you turn the enriched uranium into electricity, that is the one that if you hit is going to be catastrophic and hugely, like, very with big risk to the environment and everything else. So that is the one that they probably are going to stay away from.
Now, the South Pars gas field, this sits on the largest natural gas field in the world. Israeli forces hit this on March 18th, in the beginning of the war. Iran responded by hitting the Qatari side of this natural gas field. In terms of targets.
But let me ask you here, this is the Strait.
Yeah, this is the Strait of Hormuz
so
right
if
here.
we want to send a message in the Strait where they're hitting ships in the Strait, wouldn't that be a place we go?
It would. The only question is, what would be Iran's response? We've seen Iran hit back in Qatar's oil field, natural gas oil fields in the UAE. That's the big thing.
You mean they'll
USS
have a like response? If we hit a power plant,
no
they'll
question. That's been this tit for tat the whole time. That's what's notable about the Israelis. They use disproportionate response.
By the way, notice how they don't hit anything from the people who are attacking them, right? They can't. So the Israelis and Americans hit them, and their response would be to hit oil and gas infrastructure and other infrastructure in the Arab countries around the Persian Gulf, because they can't do anything in the United States and Israel.
This is probably one of the reasons that Israel hasn't re-entered the war. Iran has not attacked Israel since early June.
And your assessment of how we're doing it now, do you think we're doing disproportionate, or do you think we could be doing
not doing disproportionate? It is notable that U.S. forces hit an Iranian barracks after an American barracks was hit, of course, in Jordan. That's what killed those 3 U.S. Army soldiers.
So this is the power plants that we could be hitting.
This is the big one. Let's go over here on the other side of the map is Pickaxe Mountain. The U.S. intelligence has assessed.
So Pickaxe, again,
Can I
those
say
are
one
the power
last thing
plant-
about the power, if I can?
Yes. Of course.
Last comment about the power. There are these things called like LPT delivery stations. They're large power transformers, LPTs. If that thing fails, you destroy the power grid, but you don't have to hit the power plant. So there are structures that are not the power plant itself that could be hit to take out power, because you got to look at the goal. The goal isn't hitting something. I mean, yes, it does have like enriched uranium that could later be used. That is true. But if your operational goal is taking down the power, you could hit these LPTs, these large power transformers, and take out the power without creating any danger. And I do believe these things are basically the size of a house. So as far as our targeting position, we could probably identify the targets and hit them. So I would not be surprised if that's something that happens.
Okay.
The other side of the map is Pickaxe.
So guys, those are the power plants. Pickaxe Mountain is one of the four sites, main 4 sites. There are probably other places as well, where the Islamic Republic enriches uranium. The 3 were Fordo, Natanz, and the Esfahan sites, and those were taken out in Operation Midnight Hammer in June 2025. The 4th one, which is the most important one because it's deeper than the other ones and makes it harder to reach, that one was not attacked during the Midnight Hammer, and it wouldn't have been made sense to hit them during that operation because the centrifuges were not in the facility. So you would basically be bombing an empty hull. But apparently the Israelis have now shown evidence to the Americans that down there are thousands of centrifuges now down there in Pickaxe Mountain under. So we'll see. And also, guys, there is some disagreement with regards to whether United States bunker busters will be able to reach that low, right? So, and it's top secret, like the capabilities of U.S. many analysts say that the U.S. bunker busters cannot reach that low. Some people say, well, you shouldn't count that out because they might. We don't exactly know how able the bunker busters are, right? And Pete Hegseth was asked in the Senate, can you reach it? And he basically said that is our abilities are secret, but if anyone can, it's the United States. That's his answer. That was his answer.
I would like to comment on that. My interpretation of the type of strike that is sought says a lot about the tactic that's being negotiated. If you absolutely destroy it and you're trying to get to the center of it, it's because you're going back to negotiations and you're like, well, it's destroyed so we can talk. If you don't destroy it and you just keep the pressure on, it's because you're going to change the regime and you don't care if it's there because the next regime is probably going to be in your favor and going to let you get in there and take it and clear it out and take whatever you need from there. So the way you strike Pickaxe says a lot to me about the future plans.
Axe Mountain. The U.S. intelligence has assessed that Iran could have moved some of its enriched uranium from Fordo days before Operation Midnight Hammer a year ago to Pickaxe Mountains.
Okay, so this is important. They're suggesting that not only there are centrifuges down there, but some of the enriched uranium, they're suggesting that some of the enriched uranium is also down there now. So the idea that it's not, if that is true, that means that the idea that the Islamic Republic doesn't have the enriched uranium anymore because it's under a whole, like, tons of rubble and they don't have access to it anymore, then this claim challenges that. And that makes the situation a lot more, this becomes a much bigger emergency, because that means that the Islamic Republic has access to its enriched uranium, and the reports that they don't have access to them are false. This means that that they are pretty much on the way to getting a nuclear weapon as we're speaking, as we're negotiating, as the war goes on. If they have the enriched uranium that they already made before, that means that right now, as we're speaking, the Islamic Republic is rapidly moving towards having a nuclear weapon. They already have the ballistic missiles that can carry a nuclear warhead. If they have access to the enriched uranium, remember, if it's 60%, it's really easy to go from 60% to 90%. It's much difficult to go from the hardest thing to do is to go from 0% to 1%. After that, going from 0% from 1% to 60% is easier, and from 60 to 90% is like so easy. It's so easy. So if they have that, that means that they could be so close right now to actually making a nuclear warhead and putting it on the ballistic missiles that they already have. This should alarm the whole world. And honestly, this possibility right now should unite the entire planet against the Islamic Republic. And the fact that it hasn't already is a shame.
I'd like to point out that even if it's partial, yeah, like when you play something and you stop it, please. Let me get a word in, please. I'm sorry.
I did pause it as soon as you say.
No. I mean, you say something and then you hit play without letting me say nothing.
Oh, I didn't know. Well, you have to tell me. I didn't know. As soon as you tell me, I pause. As soon as you tell me, I pause.
No,
Okay,
but just like, assume I'm going to say something. Assume I'm going to say something.
I will ask you from now on. I didn't know. I'm sorry. Okay. Just like I thought I'm doing the right thing. Okay.
No, let's not fight in front of the kids. You know, I love you. Okay. You know,
I'm not fighting. I was saying I'm apologizing to you. That's not fighting.
I'm going to be the little spoon. Okay. Just for you.
Keep going. Looking for your commentary. Waiting for it.
Now, we do know. I'm just trying to comedy this up, guys. To see the guy. I got to laugh. Okay. There is a possibility that it's partial, right? Because we did say 11 warheads, and we did speak about maybe some of the uranium coming out. So you got to understand, maybe there's reports that it's still buried, and there's reports that it's out, but it just out doesn't mean all of it is out. If they got enough for 5 warheads out, that's a lot. Say, oh, these are contradicting reports. No, both could be true. There could be a large portion of it that's buried, or half of it that's buried, and half of it could be out. So maybe they don't have enough to take the 6 warheads out. Maybe they had a hint that strikes were coming, and they had started to pull some stuff out. Maybe everything that was buried is still buried. But if they had pulled out some of that stuff, and there were reports of that, because I remember them, that they had pulled the stuff out of there already. If they have some of it, that's still a problem. Like, I would be surprised that they didn't make a dirty bomb with it, but if they didn't make a dirty bomb because they had hidden some of it elsewhere, and they also had centrifuges, that would explain why they didn't make a dirty bomb. It's because whatever they did take out, they're trying to weaponize, and whatever is still stuck is still stuck. So we can't ignore the fact that both things could be true. The dust could be buried, but there could be some dust that got pulled out before the strikes.
Right, exactly. So that means that the Islamic Republic could be days away from having a ready-to-use nuclear weapon, and yeah, this needs a responding to.
Pickaxe Mountain. The U.S. intelligence has assessed that Iran could have moved some of its enriched uranium from Fordo days before Operation Midnight Hammer a year ago to Pickaxe Mountain. It's much deeper than the other nuclear sites. And also, these Zagros Mountains, we're talking about hard dolomite, very hard rock, be very difficult to hit from the air. It's one of the reasons ground forces might be used. In fact, this is a mission for the U.S. military's National Mission Force. We're talking about Delta, SEAL Team 6, the Air Force 24th Special Tactics Squadron.
And the risk is there's never been anyone who said this is what it's like. There's no schematics for what's inside Pickaxe.
Right.
That's what we say.
IAEA has never accessed the site. They haven't, so we don't know for sure if these highly enriched centrifuges, the uranium has been moved to Pickaxe, but it's on the radar. We heard from President Trump saying that he will be striking Pickaxe very soon. We've seen bones flying from Britain. Those are the B-1 bombers. And, of course, the B-2 bombers fly from Whiteman Air Force Base in Missouri on that round-the-world flight that we saw.
And Natanz has been hit, right?
Natanz has been hit, Fordo and Isfahan. Those were the three sites hit for Operation Midnight Hammer a year ago. Again, so far, Pickaxe has remained untouched.
So when you talk about Bashir,
this was a nuclear power plant built with Russian help. It is one of two nuclear reactors, nuclear power plants that are operated in the Middle East. UAE has the other one. What's interesting about the Saudi deal, not to get into that for another segment, but UAE and Bashir, they're importing the enriched uranium, low enriched uranium. The Iranians get it from Russia and the Emirati.
By the way, this Bashir facility and any other facility that the Islamic Republic has to make electricity has always been a joke, right? For years they told us that we need to enrich uranium for electricity. Where is the electricity? You had your enriched uranium, you had your nuclear power plants that was supposed to make electricity, and you have more power outages than any country in that region. You have a country that is sitting on more energy than 99% of the countries out there, and yet you have power outages with the enriched uranium. You shouldn't have power outages even without enriched uranium. You're sitting on energy, but even with enriched uranium and a nuclear power plant that is supposed to make electricity, what has that brought to the Iranian people? What did it bring them power? Did it bring them electricity? It didn't. It never did. It added nothing. It only brought us sanctions and war and poverty. Nothing else. Nothing else. We know, the Iranian people know, the Islamic Republic knows, Israel knows, United States knows that the whole point of the enriched uranium was to get to a nuclear weapon. It's so obvious because if it wasn't for that, you wouldn't be enriching up to 60%. If this was about electricity, it's electricity. You get that with under 4% enrichment. You get under 4% enrichment. That's what you need for electricity. Anybody that pays even the smallest amount of attention to this could easily tell that always from day one, the point of all of this was to get a nuclear bomb. From day one.
I would like to comment on that. Like, I wouldn't say day one of the Islamic Republic, yes. Day one of the nuclear capability, no. Why? Under the Shah, that capability and those resources could have brought the Iranian people to a lifestyle of luxury and what we like to call a standard of living that is very high, because they had the resources. They were on the way to a great deal of modernization. And when you look at places like Abu Dhabi and UAE, and you look at places like Saudi Arabia, that some areas do have a lot of wealth. You can see the amount of resources being spent locally and going to the people, how good that can be, right? So if you would apply that to the rule of the Shah, and those resources would have been inside the country, they would make those other countries pale in comparison, right? That is what we had with the Shahs. I believe that would have also been the case in Afghanistan, because during the time of the Shah of Afghanistan, There was a great deal of modernization that's being forgotten. And if you look at the resources that Afghanistan had, it would also be a rich country. So this is just a credit to the Shah, to the Shahs, and a show of the detriment of Islamic rule.
Yes, and I just want to add something to that. Just to be clear, this would have made sense before with Mohammad Reza Shah, but it doesn't make sense for Iran anymore after the Islamic Republic. So what I was saying was basically from day one. Obviously, I meant day one of the Islamic Republic, obviously. But now that the Islamic Republic has isolated Iran from the rest of the world, Prince Pahlavi has committed to not to basically, I mean, at least maybe at the beginning, or I don't know, forever. I have to look into that, right? But we are not going to enrich uranium. Even after the Islamic Republic falls, I mean, at least that's his belief, because we want to gain, we don't want to worry our neighbors and the rest of the world, and we want to focus on bringing us out of this isolation. And so that's something that we like. So yes, but for Mohammad Reza Shah, that made a lot of sense. Okay, let's continue. And then after this video, we're going to go to the super chats.
Imported from
that was
elsewhere.
part of the deal. Where they said, okay, you can use it, but we'll enrich it and then give it to you and take it back.
Exactly.
And now here, I understand this power plant serves 2 million people.
Yes, and this is outside of Tehran. If the president wanted to order what some would consider a disproportionate response, you would hit the Domovid plant. Again, it's responsible for 40% of Tehran, the capital's power. Right. The only question is, do you want to turn the lights off for millions of Iranians who are sympathetic to the American cause?
You know, guys, I was just coming from my Persian show. And before I usually go live on my Persian show, I hang out for 10 minutes on Discord with my audience inside Iran. And I was listening to them, and this guy was like in Discord, and he was so frustrated because his water was cut off. And, you know, a lot of people don't know. A lot of people are like, oh, it's a third world country, so I guess it's a new thing. It's normal there, okay? I mean, it's true that these recent years, a lot of these power outages has become more of the norm for in Iran because of the Islamic Republic. But this was not the norm just like a decade ago or 5 years ago. This is not something that the Iranian people are used to, actually. Like when I was in Iran, I don't remember, like I lived in Iran for 20 years. I don't remember a single day that there was no water, right? Not a single day in 20 years that I lived in Iran, not a single day do I remember a water outage. There were sometimes power outages, electricity outages, very rarely, but never I experienced a water outage. And I don't even know how that feels like, not being able to shower or flush the toilet. That sounds like hell. But he was on Discord and he was frustrated and like, oh my God, I don't know what to do. The water is out. And while he was in Discord, before we went live on the Persian channel, his electricity went out as well, like while he was talking to us. Like, I have no water and no electricity. Like I'm sitting in darkness, and he has, I don't know. So it's really frustrating. So, and I think it might get worse. Like if we get like, I understand that this might be necessary, but it's going to get really, really bad. Because guys, remember, if you go to like a village in Africa that doesn't have water pipes or electricity, everything around that, so it's not as bad over there because the infrastructure, the way of life, and the people's habits and how they make money and how they live is built around not having, you know, running water. You have your well, you don't have electricity, you have batteries or stuff like that. Everything is built around that understanding that there is no like electricity, there's no like running water here. So it's manageable because that's how everything is based upon. But if your life, if your business, if the infrastructure is built upon the assumption that there's water and there's electricity, then losing the water and electricity is worse than the situation than, you know, a village that didn't have that to begin with. like the village that didn't have that to begin with will not become dysfunctional compared to a place that things are supposed to, everything is built based on having these things. So I don't know if I'm explaining it well for people to understand how frustrating it is to lose access to water and electricity.
So would they be angry with Trump and the administration if that happened? Would they be like, "Oh, what are you doing? Like, we're not a part of this," or would they? I actually asked. I would like to ask that question. I have another one from yesterday. What are your friends telling you about the infighting? Because we asked that yesterday. Hey, talk to the Persian guys, see what's going on with there. Are they seeing more infighting? You said yes, but like, did that even come up in the conversation? Is it going on more? And also, how do they feel now that because we're talking about a standard of living, and we're talking about them having a higher standard of living than I do, because my water goes out all the time, and I'm a little bit jealous of them right now. Because oh my God, I had this problem yesterday. With the water went out, and this morning the water was brown. I've luckily had some filtered water for my coffee, but they have a very high standard of living. And because us Americans only see Iraq and Afghanistan during and the worst parts of it, we have this misguided idea because of the media that it's like that everywhere. But that standard of living is not so. Even I would say they're closer to the Saudis and the United Arab Emirates in a standard of living. Maybe not what you see, because they only show the best parts of Saudi Arabia and the worst parts of Afghanistan and Iraq. But there's a middle ground there that would be probably where I'm assuming the Iranian people's standard of living is, where you're like upper middle class and you're not used to this stuff. So
Well, I mean,
those were my questions.
That's a very good thing for you to ask me to clarify, because remember, I lived in Upper Tehran and the best place of Shiraz. So I'm pretty sure, like I'm almost sure that even when I lived in Iran, if you go to Sistan, Baluchistan, for example, they probably had water outages even when I was in Iran. So it depends on where in Iran you are and what where you live, in that city. So I guess it's good that you said that so I could clarify. So because my experience might not reflect everyone's experience, but based on how I lived and everybody else that I knew, we didn't experience that. But what I'm saying is now the people who did in Iran who didn't used to experience that are now experiencing that. So that's a very good thing that you mentioned that to clarify. And I'm also, with your first question, I'm going to be very, very honest. Okay. That's also a very good question. Like, if there's power and water outages, will they blame United States or will they blame the Islamic Republic? Okay, so every single person that I'm in touch with will blame the Islamic Republic and welcomes American bombardment, even if it leads to water outages and electric outages for them personally, even, right? Not only that, some of the people I talk to will welcome American bombardment even if it causes them to die, right? Even if the bomb drops right on their head. So that's the type of people I'm talking to, okay? However, that is not data, right? That is not statistically, scientifically collected data, right? So I'm just telling you, the people who come to the people who watch my channel in Iran and the people who come to my Discord community in Iran, there's almost not a single person there that would blame United States. In fact, some of them are frustrated for why the attacks haven't started already. Right, some of them are like, every time I go to Discord, like many people are there, like trying to analyze, figure out when the Americans are going to finally attack. That's the community I'm dealing with, right? My assumption, which might be unfounded, is that is the vast majority of the Iranian people will blame the Islamic Republic. That is my understanding based on what I'm observing, but what I'm observing is not scientifically collected data. I'm just trying to be very honest with my answer here. I hope like that makes sense.
I have a follow-up, and this is not just by your feeling what you would gather from the people. This would be a big problem if they go through all of this and we don't finish the job. If we go through all of this, they go through their power outages, many people die, they lose water, they have droughts, they have famine, they have people dying of dehydration, people dying of, just all kinds of things, and then we don't finish the job. That will turn to resentment more than likely, because there's been many times when an uprising is kind of supported tacitly, but it doesn't lead to a support that is meaningful. Saying with your mouth, oh, they have to do it, is kind of like a slap in the face if there's no way for the majority to physically do it. There's no way for you to support that kind of, let's call it a democracy, whatever, the will of the people. There's no way to support the will of the people if the minority of the people are holding the majority of the people at gunpoint, right? So, like, that is what I see could be a big problem. If you do all this, but you don't finish the job, you make a deal. Oh, they gave up nuclear. Oh, they gave up control of the strait. They're just going to go into their bunkers and start making bioweapons and chemical weapons. And they start shooting any secular that doesn't like it, and any sad penguin that doesn't like it. This is what we're doing. Get used to it. We made a deal, and whoever doesn't like it will kill, right? If they go full, like, no, the mask is dropping. We don't care what you think. This is what's going to happen. Like, if it goes down like that and they make a deal, wouldn't they be like, well, then what was this for nothing?
That is a very, very good point. Very well observed. It's interesting that you say that. It's almost as if you were in the Discord server that I'm talking about, right? Like, that's how well spotted that point is. It was so well spotted that I'm kind of suspicious that if you're listening into our conversations and you secretly know how to speak Persian, or you using AI to translate our conversations, that's how good that observation was, because they are willing to accept the hardship with the understanding that is going to lead to the fall of the Islamic Republic. They think it's worth it. And even the people who are frustrated, some of the people who are claiming frustration with the Americans, they are saying that if the regime falls, they will completely change their mind and forever be thankful to the United States if the regime falls. Like, even the people who are frustrated will flip on their opinions, right? And it's very true that if they go through all of this hardship and then there's a job and it gets abandoned halfway through, then they will feel like they went through all of this and it didn't even result in anything. So it will turn into a lot of anger and frustration. That is so 100% true. Very well said, Mikey. I'm very impressed with that point. Very impressed.
The other question is, because we were talking on the subject of on the nuclear, let me just get my point on nuclear. If we hit those power stations, those substations, those LPT large power transformers, we could take out the power without having any radiological or nuclear damage. If we could do that, the power will be out and there will be no damage to the power station itself. Another thing I'd add is, what have you heard? Did you hear anything today about divisions after the bombings? Are they even more divided now? You said yesterday, you touched on it, but what is that still going on?
Yeah, the divisions is constantly escalating. It's at all-time high. I will show you more evidence of it on the stream that I have with Ellie. We'll show you some evidence for that. But every day it's increasing like crazy to crazy new heights, right? With regards to the Bushehr power plant, I wouldn't touch it because it doesn't have any utility for making weapons unless they're doing. Actually, maybe that's what's happening. I take that back. Maybe the Islamic Republic is enriching uranium next to the Bushehr facility that is supposed to create electricity. So here's what I was gonna say, and now I'm gonna fix it. I was gonna say, don't touch the Bushehr power plant because it doesn't help with building a nuclear weapon. Also, if you want to take out electricity, there are enough power plants that are not nuclear that you could basically take out that would devastate the regime anyway. So why do the one that is nuclear? And given that it doesn't have any military purpose anyways. But then I realized that the Islamic Republic might use the danger of the Bushehr power plant as shield to have stuff there, thinking the Americans are not going to hit this because it's very dangerous to hit the Bushehr power plant. So that might change the calculation. Does that answer your
So
question?
they might put some spinners right there and say, oh, if there's any fallout, it's not that I had spinners there, it's that the Americans caused a nuclear disaster. And you know, if anybody says, hey, you put spinners there, they say, what are you, a life lover?
So, okay, so exactly. Great questions, Monkey. That was really good. Great questions. Good observation. Spot on. So this is why it's so good to have you here, because from your perspective, the questions that you ask, it makes from an American perspective, then it's when I answer it, it helps other people also know the details that they need to know. We do have 5 super chats, but I need to go pee. So Monkey, can you read this and respond to it? And then I'll come back and we'll read the super chats after that. Is that okay?
Yes, absolutely. Okay. All right, chat. We have a message here from President Donald J. Trump. Mr. Trump, could you come in here and tell us what you're trying to say? President Xi, at a recent meeting in Beijing, China, told me that he would not, under any circumstances, give or sell weapons to the Islamic Republic of Iran. And that statement including Chinese companies. Considering our relationship, I take him at his word, and besides, I'm doing him a very, very big favors. Also, likewise, President Putin. Despite the horrible war going on in Ukraine, the relationship remains as it does with President Zelensky. Not leaving you out, Zelly. Love you. They told me that he would not sell weapons to Iran. He understands that I do not sell weapons to Ukraine, but to NATO countries. They pay full price, and how those weapons are distributed, I have no idea. Therefore, 2 major countries that people speak of often in terms of Iran are, in my opinion, KG that, not participating. If they did, it would be very bad for them. Are you guys hearing this? This would be very bad for you. If you're listening out there, hello, hello, nudge, nudge, wink, wink, hello, it would be very bad for them. Certainly not in their best interest. Thank you for your attention to this matter, President Donald J. Trump. That's right. It's very important. It's my opinion. I don't know for sure, but if I find out, we're going to have a problem, big problem. So, thank you, Mr. President. Thank you for leading us to some attention on this matter. Thank you. Do have some super chats here.
No, wait. Respond to it before. I want to be here for the super
Well,
chat.
the thing I think is we all know they're helping. There's intelligence from everywhere that know he's helping. We all know that they're helping. Everyone knows they're helping, just like everyone knows we're helping Ukraine, right? So this is like the open secret. Are we helping Ukraine? Fuck yeah. Is China and Russia helping China? China and Russia helping Iran? Fuck yeah. But what he is telling them, hey, I know both of your economies are fucked right now. I know Ukraine is burning down your Amazon warehouses. They have a different name for it, berries or something. And because you supply the field with that, those warehouses are dual use and they're getting burned down. Your whole economy is going to shit in Russia. So, I know you got problems, Putin. I know you got problems, China. You went through national disasters, economic disasters, and your companies, China, I know they're on the squeeze. So if you keep fucking around, you're going to find out. I'm talking about opinions. Wildberries, that's the place. I'm talking about opinion. You don't want me to find out about facts because right now it's an opinion. If I find out you fucking around, you're going to find out. That's what I think the message is. But he knows, just like we know, we're helping Ukraine. And, they know we're helping Ukraine. We know they're helping Iran. We know. We just want them to stop it. And this is just like a warning shot across the bow.
Okay, but how would you respond to somebody who thinks, not me, okay, not me, don't put your pitchforks down, okay, somebody, wink, wink, that says that this post by President Trump, in their opinion, suggests that President Trump is very naive. And he just believes he just doesn't want to be aggressive against these people as much as he should be, and he likes strong men, dictator men, and they just come and tell him this, and he comes out and acts like he believes them, and this is pretty naive of him to just take their word instead of
I would
coming down on the
100%
heart.
agree. If I believe, yeah, this is 100% agree. I would go beyond naive. I think it's stupid. It's stupid. If you take them at their word, it's stupid. To take Xi at his word is stupid. To take Putin at his word is fucking stupid. That's why I don't believe it for a second he's doing it. Right?
Mhm.
If you believe that, if that's your depth of political analysis, you know what? Yeah. If you believe this statement to be absolutely factual and true, and you have a right to read it that way because that's what he stated, and he's the president. He's supposed to tell you the truth, right? So if you read it like that, yeah, it's fucking stupid.
Okay. So President
If
Trump
I
is not
believe that, I would say, what are you, a moron? What the fuck is wrong with you? How the fuck are you going to believe Xi? How the fuck are you going to put, are you retarded? Are you retarded? Are you a retarded president? What do you think you, what the fuck are you talking about? You believe this people? And people who have that reaction, I understand that. But I think there's like some diplomatic play going on here. I think he doesn't want to upset the markets. Like that's my steel man of it. But if I take it at face value, I'd be angry. I'd be furious.
Okay. So now respond to this other person. Okay. Okay. So somebody says, okay, so President Trump does not really mean what he's saying here. Okay. This is just straight up, 5D chess, psychological warfare, hint, nudge, he knows, obviously he knows he can't be that stupid to not know you can't take these people seriously. That's what he has to say. There's a larger game that is happening here, whatever. Then 5D under the water, upside down chess with blindfolds on, stuff like that. Okay, I'll accept that. If that's the case, does that mean that we can never trust what President Trump is saying? So doesn't that mean that we can, whatever he says, we can never know if it's the truth or not? Like, so he's not being honest, and his posts are not him telling the truth? That's what that means? So how could we rely on his words if what he's saying is not really what he thinks? Then I could never trust anything that he's saying. So how do you respond to that?
I did put a lot of weasel words in there. You know what a weasel word is? When you find a cagey way to say, oh, I'm not talking facts. Like, this is just what I think, in my opinion. Right? Oh, you snuck that in there, huh? Mighty sly of you to sneak that in there. Why would you trust Trump? I don't trust Trump. I like him. I don't trust him. I don't trust anybody. Why would you trust? Why? Of course you shouldn't trust him. Duh. I like Rubio. I don't trust him. I think he counts on us to keep him in check. I think all politicians, even the good ones, listen to the people, listen to when they're stepping out of line, listen to when they're getting off track. At least the good ones. Of course, you should hold them to their account for their statements. Of course. Do I trust Trump? No. And he will tell me not to. He will tell me, look, if you think I'm sliding, use your freedom of speech. You have your freedom of speech. I'm not going to take that from you. Don't make threats. Of course. Don't make violent calls to action. Of course. But if I sound down the president and tell him, look, I think you're wrong on this. Do you think I should be able to speak out? And he's going to say, sure. Of course you should be able to speak out of it. You want to keep me in check? Keep me in check. That's what Trump would say. I think that's what Trump would say. I think that's what Rubio used to say. If you think I'm speaking too cagey, if you think I'm playing too much 3D chess or 4D chess or 64D Jenga, whatever it is, you should be able to tell me. You shouldn't be able to absolutely trust me because I'm only human. No God. None of us are gods. You should not absolutely trust him. You can trust him on some things. You could trust him to a certain extent. You could trust his intentions. But should you be able to voice your opinions? Well, that's what creates a more perfect union. That's the whole fundamentals here. right? We hold each other to account. We put our opinion out there, and we start functioning like a supercomputer because we all have our opinions out there, and the majority kind of tends to lean toward the closest to the true answer from the information that's out there. At least the good information. There's a lot of bad information too, which makes the computer kind of it clogs the gears sometimes. But that's why we got grease monkeys.
Yep. Again, a short answer because I want to go to the next video. Some people will say, like, it's kind of ironic that what we're saying is that what President Trump is posting on a platform that he called Truth Social is not the truth. So the justification for what he's saying is that his posts do not actually reflect the truth, and there's a more strategic game being played here. And I thought the point was us telling each other the truth, and this is not the truth.
Well, it says right there, opinion. Like, you got to read what it says if you want to take the fact that it's on Truth Social and ignore the word opinion. That's on you, because it says opinion right there.
Okay, so opinions that do not reflect the truth, though. That's what I'm suggesting. That's what I'm saying.
Opinions based on data had on the time. Maybe later I'll get some more data. Cagey. It's very cagey language, but you got to take each post for what it is.
Because I get, because just calling something an opinion doesn't get us away from not telling the truth, right? Because you could have opinions that reflect the truth and opinions that do not reflect the truth. Calling it an opinion doesn't mean that an opinion, we should always try our opinions to reflect the truth. That's the whole point of, investigating to make sure that the opinions are closer to the truth as much as possible, right? Anyways, wait, right before I do the super chats, I just wanted to, because we talked about the situation of the Iranian people, this Iranian person is now showing us that the value of the currency in Iran is so low that it's actually, look at this, I think it's cheaper for us to use paper currency than actual paper to do cleaning. I mean, this currency, nor the face on it has any value to us and any legitimacy. Look at what she's doing here. Or he. That's money.
از ارزش عقل این اسکناسا بیشتره. از به جای دستمال خریدن از دستمال اسکناس.
She said, I'm not going to buy tissue paper anymore or paper towel anymore. This is actually a lot cheaper for me. That's how valueless the currency is.
از دستمال اسکناسی استفاده میکنیم چون ارزان‌تر تموم میشه برامون. این اسکناسا دیگه هیچ ارزشی برامون نداره. نه فقط خودشون، حتی این عکسی که روشونه.
Yeah, he said this has no more value. This currency has no more value, and the picture on it has no more value either. So just wanted to show you that.
What's the name of that currency? The rial or the toman, or I forgot the name.
So officially, it's the rial, okay? But the Iranian people use the word toman, and each toman is 10 rials.
So rial, the quicker picker upper, you just swipe everything away with it.
Yeah. Okay, sure. I guess. That's okay. Wait, hold on. Let me put this here. This is the next video we're going to show, but let me just do the super chats. Guys, thank you so much for all the support. Alexia with a super chat saying, I want Andy to speak to you in school. Love you all. Thank you, Alexa. Yep, bring anybody who wants to speak to me in school. I'm always available there in our discussion group. Guys, you remember we have daily group calls in our discussion group. Make sure you come there. Today we're gonna have wait, how many hours? Yeah, okay, so in 1 hour we're gonna have in about 1 hour, we're going to have our group call. So you guys, anybody can come and join us. The link is in the description. The link is in the QR code in the top left. And it's also in the chat. So thank you for that reminder. Let me go back, put this on the screen. And then Fleshy Interloper, thank you so much for the super chat. Saying kiss and makeup. Gay! All right, thank you, Fleshy. Okay. And then Shauna with a super chat saying, I agree with you 100%, but the average liberal, I think by liberal you mean leftist, but the average leftist, center left American is going to believe that this is an excuse or hoax to drag America back into an endless war. Don't shoot the messenger. Nope, we're going to shoot the messenger. Shauna, get ready to be shot. No, I'm just kidding. YouTube, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. We're not going to shoot the message. I mean, that's why we have to do what we do. That's why we have to do what we do. We need to reach to more people, and we shouldn't just talk to people. We should listen to people. We should get them to come with their ideas. That's why that's the whole point of our discussion group, guys. We're trying to create an environment where people could come. And I know you don't like people treating people as if they're sensitive little snowflakes, but because they already are, we have to reach to them, trying to find a way to create an environment where they feel like if they come in and express their even sometimes garbage opinions, they're not going to get a hostile reaction, right? We're going to respond to them. We're going to try to give our perspective to them, but we do need to, I think the way to tackle it, because a lot of people are already making a lot of good content to respond to bad ideas. But the problem is making good content in response to bad ideas is that it creates an echo chamber. The people who watch us more likely already agree with us. Even the biggest content creators just mostly attract the people who are already on their camp. So we're not changing ideas as much as we should be. So the point of a discussion group is to create a discussion between us and hopefully eventually the people who mostly disagree with us, but in a way that is welcoming, in a way that they get encouraged to come there, even though they know we disagree with them. So that's what we're trying to do. And I think that is the most effective way of trying to change people's opinions, not just putting good ideas out there, inviting people with the opposing ideas to come and share their opinion with us. That's the plan, at least.
Oh, to this, I would say this is why we have to do it before the midterms. This is why I want the strikes to increase before the midterms. Like, I don't want their opinion. I don't want their opinion to affect what's going to go on. Like, I like the way I reach is like some people you can reach, some people you can't. The people you can't, I don't care about because I can't reach them. What's the point of that? The people who I can reach, I do want to reach. That's where the conversations are productive. But where it's not productive is not productive. I don't aim my energy at things that are not going to work. The people who do want to listen have, like, they keep their head on a swivel. They're looking out. They're looking at all these opinions. And if they are intelligent, if they even pay, Iranian policy, this is so easy. Even a monkey can do it. So even if they pay a little bit of attention, they'll see the problem here. And the problem is that they can't stay in power because giving up nuclear doesn't mean they're going to give up their intention, right? So leaving them in power is a mistake. And I would also, to those people who are listening, okay, let's say do you want a moderate Democrat or do you want a DSA Democrat? Because one of the problems that even the moderate Democrats are having is that they're getting disenfranchised. Even if you're a center left conservative, where you do care about, social programs, but you also don't want an open border and you don't want your workers to be replaced by people who work basically at illegally low wages, and they're basically a servant class. If you're not down with that, if you're not down to going back to indentured slavery and straight up slavery, like the old Democrats, like the Democrats that went to civil war because they wanted to have slaves, if you're not one of those, you're just center left, then you should be very aware that you're getting disenfranchised. You got to get the vote out to the moderates, even if it's on the left, or maybe just don't vote, sit it out. Don't give power to these leftists because just because you think they're going to get you out of a forever war doesn't mean that they won't destroy you locally.
Okay. Okay, so we have a headline news that we're going to go, like a breaking news that we're going to get to as soon as I read the super chats. So let's try to get to the super chats soon. But before I do the super chats, I just wanted to respond to this. Somebody saying, trust me, it's pointless. Libtards only listen to their own moronic internal monologues. A better idea is to campaign for Trump to make asylums great again. So there's no point of making campaigns if you can't change people's ideas. So I understand that there needs to be a short-term strategy to just get people to vote, but there needs to be a long-term strategy to change people's opinions. Or if there is no point in trying to change people's opinions, then what the hell are we doing? We might as well just stop doing, like, putting ideas out there. It historically, if you like, just because you don't get short-term results, it doesn't mean that I think if you zoom in and look at the effect of what you're doing, you think it's not making a difference. But that's because, there's a compounding interest in what you're doing. Long term, you could shift people's opinions a lot. Long term. I say this as somebody who's been doing this for 20 years, and I convinced many people that you would have never believed out of their most garbage ideas. I've talked to so many people that were diehard communists, and now they're diehard capitalists just through the conversations I had with them. Like, more aggressively pro-capitalism than I am because of the conversations that we have with them. I have spoken to people who were about to join ISIS, okay, and now they're as more aggressively against Islam than sometimes I am. Well, actually, that's impossible, but yeah. But like, they're anti-Islamic activists right now. People who I talked to that were just a few steps away from joining ISIS. So that matter. It does work. It does work. If you do it a lot, you'll figure out what works. So don't give up on people. I understand it's frustrating because you don't get an immediate result, and you think, like, sometimes people try, and some 1, 2, 3 person, 10 people, 20 people, and you're like, oh my God, I talked to them and they still saying the same thing, and they give up. This only works if you try with thousands of people over a long period of time, and also use the method that has proven to produce results. So changing people's opinions definitely does work. It has historically shifted entire people's political views when people do put an effort in. And this is what we should, I mean, that's the whole point of having soft power. That's the whole point of the information warfare. So we need to have these conversations with people that we disagree with. It is absolutely important. And the best way to do it is to make them bring down their guards. And I've seen it happen, and I've been involved in it for decades.
Listen, I want to say on this is ignoring what Trump did. Trump had Tulsi Gabbard. Trump had RFK. John Fetterman is kind of like switching to our side. This is an underestimation of how many people are actually normal. Fox News and CNN will only show you the extremes. You think these people are beyond reaching because you're only shown people like a DSA, Hamas, flag waving, gender confused, blue haired land whales. That's what you see in the news, and you get an image. All leftists must be like that, right? No, some of them you can reach. I very clearly said the ones you can't reach, you can't reach. You still put the message out there. If at some point they listen, at some point they listen, you don't want to force it at them, because sometimes the more you force, the more resistance. You just put it out there and leave it there for them to take. But you have to keep in mind that there's a lot of people that don't fall into that extreme category and are far more susceptible to logic than we estimate. They are more driven by emotion. This is like studies have proven it overwhelmingly, that people that are more on the Democrat side, more on the liberal side, are more emotional. This is a statistical fact, right? Those people, you have to get to their logic through the reality of the damage and the pain that is caused by their own policies and by the people they support, people like the IRGC, people like Hamas, people like the Houthis that Hassan loves to prop up, and people like those in power in Cuba, those in power in China. You have to take their argument and turn it on its head. Oh, so you care about people? Well, look at these people in power, what they do if you care about people. Look at how much they hurt people, right? I think this is very important. If you go statistically over a long amount of time, it's not going to be pressure that gets them. It's consistency. You stay consistent, stay on message, stay truthful, so that when they go research, they're gonna find out you're right. And that's what you're gonna find. And the person that talks about this a lot is Professor oh my god, what's his name? The one from Canada that they told him he had to use the pronouns. Talks like Kermit.
Oh,
Oh my God. Jordan
Peterson.
Peterson. He goes a lot into the statistical data. He knows it better much than me. He's a professor of why people who lean left are more on the emotional side and people who lean right. I mean, there's variances of this, of course. You're going to have people that are more liberal that are super analytical, and you're going to have people that are conservative that are super high degree of emotional consciousness. But in general, this is what you have to do. In general, you have to be very logical. Okay, you care about feelings. Look at all these people that the IRGC hurt. Or you care about feelings. Look at all the people that Hamas hurt. Hamas hurts Gaza more than anyone. Hezbollah hurts Lebanon more than anyone. You have to use what they care about and show them how their care is being misplaced.
Okay. Monkey, can we get go through these other super chats a little bit? We need to go faster because this news is important. Steve is also saying, "What is Vance doing on the screen? God, give me strength." Yeah, I'm gonna play it for you guys. This actually seems like a big deal. I will play it for you guys. Let me just go through the super chats. Alexia is saying we had 8 nukes and somehow we were stripped. Question is, where did those nukes go? South Africa was paid by RGC to take Israel to ICC. Thoughts? Yeah, I mean, thoughts is that it's lunacy. It's disgusting that they have done that. They're on the wrong side of history, and their country is becoming more and more like a, what is the term?
Reverse
President Trump
apartheid?
uses? No. What's the prayers? What is the President Trump uses when a country is like really degraded and weak and pathetic? And anyways, things are going downhill, and they shouldn't any country that goes towards this ideology, you can see the results of it. Their values are shit. They are themselves are the people in charge there are racist against white people. They shouldn't be lecturing anybody about values. They're supporting terrorism. They're supporting the axis of resistance. They're terrorist supporters. So if any, they shouldn't be lecturing people about morality and the rule of law. They are one of the leading countries in defending terrorism. Where were they when they never came out and condemned the Islamic Republic after killing tens of thousands of their own people? Obviously, this is not about morality or the rule of law. This is about an agenda, and they're on the wrong side of history. That's all I'll say.
Chat says he calls them a shithole.
Shithole. That was what I was looking for. Thank you. Kevin with a membership gift. Thank you so much to Liberty Politics. I appreciate that, Kevin. Thank you. I appreciate that. Sticky Beans with a super chat saying, "No, Armin, the nuclear plants are only to supply electricity for the missile cities and the centrifuges nearby. Hit. So it's all of the power plants of inside Iran are dual use. All of them are dual use. So you could hit, and they all go basically to the same national grid. Okay, so it's not like this power plant is for that power plant was for that. All them they're all mixed with each other, and they all get used for residentials and the IRGC. That's how it is. So if you want to take out, so no matter which power plants you choose to hit, you will be degrading. So you could pick and choose which ones that you want. I think you should go based on how much it produces rather than if you're taking out, I don't think that Bushehr power plant should be on your highest priority if you're trying to remove their capacity to produce electricity. I think the Damavand one would be the greatest hit if that's your goal. the only way it makes sense to attack anything next to the Bushehr power plant, given how dangerous it is for the environment, is if they have something there, for example, the spinners, the centrifuges. But if you want to take their electricity production capacity out, there are other plants that would be higher priority, in my opinion. And then Amir with a super chat. But if Monkey, if you want to comment, you could jump right in. Like, I'm not going to.
I agree.
Okay.
I didn't say anything because I agree.
Okay. So just every time you want to say something, just say like, "Hey, can I say something?" And I will just stop right away, and you can say what you need to say.
Works
okay?
for me. Fantastic.
Okay, Amir the Cricket, thank you so much for the super chat, saying, I don't know how many bananas Monkeys got before the stream, but I suggest to keep this routine. Today Monkey is on another level. I disagree completely. I think Monkey is on a different level every single day, not just today, every single day. But thank you, Amir. I think the Monkey is on fire every day.
I appreciate it.
Thank you, Amir. I appreciate the super chat, and I appreciate Monkey. And Justin with a super chat saying, I sometimes think Trump is so dedicated to the tactic of confuse your opponent that he does or say things that even he doesn't know what it's about. It confuses me. It confuses my opponent. Yeah, to confuse your enemy, you first must confuse yourself. Yeah.
You know what? I mean, if I don't know where I'm going, no one knows where I'm going.
Right. I mean, yeah. Nobody can know what I'm gonna do because I didn't know what I'm gonna do. So how could they know what I'm gonna do? True. Why not? Genius, yes. Noah, thank you so much for the super chat. Noah is here supporting us as always, saying, I can't make it to the discussion group today. I'm sad. Oh, it's okay. Noah, that's why we have it every single day. That's why we have our discussion group, our group calls in the discussion group every single day. So if you miss one, there's the one after.
Just in case you're out, and you're having a little trouble out there, I'm going to send you a big monkey hug. Big monkey kisses like a spring shower. Big wet monkey kisses. They're just raining.
Oh my, okay, that was less wet than before, so it was tolerable. However, you sounded like you're taking a shit. But that was,
I'm a little constipated. I don't want to talk about it, but
okay. Thank you, Noah. Appreciate that. And then Zip Gun with the super chat saying, those afraid of endless war have never been in one. Focus on the war of ideas being won by DSA, Qatar, etc. Quality of life is down, violence is up. Yeah, I mean, this is why the war of ideas are so important, because the values that we support, the Western Enlightenment values that we support, are the very values that keeps you out of endless wars, right? Is their values, is the commie values and the Islamic values that drags you into endless wars. So
everywhere the DSA won, the quality of life is down and violence is up. Wherever they have gains, that's the reality. Zipgun is on it.
That was a very good point. Speaking of bad ideas, of crap ideas, let's go to JD Vance. So let's see, this seems like a big deal.
A U.S. Secret Service agent from the Vice President JD Vance's security detail is apparently under investigation. It concerns allegations of leaking sensitive information, the agency not commenting on the specifics, but says the agent has been suspended and placed on administrative leave as that probe unfolds. So some mystery in that move. A U.S.
What do you think that is about? Okay, so a Secret Service agent has just been placed under investigation for allegedly leaking details about JD Vance's security detail. Zero tolerance for leakers. President Trump and Vance must be kept safe. Yes, you know what? Let me guys tell you this. I don't care what disagreement we have with JD Vance. I don't care about that. The safety of all the politicians in the United States, whether the ones that we agree with or disagree with, should be one of our highest priorities. Right?
Absolutely. I am getting the link now. I am going to put it in the chat. Now, this is James O'Keefe. Now, James O'Keefe has a superpower,
And his superpower, right? Let me make sure I get in both that. His superpower is that he's not gay, but when he wants to, at will, he can turn into a beautiful woman. And when he does this, people start leaking to him. There's a 13-minute video there where you can see this guy leak. Like, it's out there. Everything he said, if you go into the video and you look at it, it's disgusting. This guy was a Biden appointee. Barely 2 years since he got a citizenship. He was working for Biden. Looks very good in the pictures. Very, ambiguously, racially ambiguous, right? They had him on security details, and then they didn't get rid of him. They didn't clean the house and they left him in there. And he has been leaking for years to different people. He's giving locations with metadata. He's giving information about how they proceed. Like, if you look at it on the side chat, James O'Keefe you have to watch out, right? If you look like that guy looks, and if you look at him, you're like, you know what? This is not someone that's going to have a supermodel on him. You got to realize maybe that supermodel is James O'Keefe. You got to watch out. You know what? Don't watch out. Go ahead and leak to James O'Keefe so we can catch a leaker.
Oh my God. Okay, so I don't know what was said, but let's go.
I went over it on my channel. We went through the whole video. It was, oh my God, it was crazy.
Okay. All right, let's stay back on topic here. Let's look at this. This is what we're talking about in our discussion group yesterday with regards to the B-1 bombers, which apparently to be a big deal that they've now been added to the potential upcoming military operations. Let me see, what day is it today? So if a lot of people think that this weekend we're going to see something big, I don't know if that's correct, but listen to this, because this might indicate something big is about to happen soon.
Raising the stakes with Iran. Fox News has learned the U.S. deployed a B-1 bomber on IRGC targets for the first time in this conflict since airstrikes resumed 12 days ago. Chief International Correspondent Steve Harrigan has all the details from Tel Aviv this afternoon. Hi, Steve.
Jillian, these massive B-1 bombers, of course, carry a huge conventional payload of bombs that can be refueled from the air, and at least some of them are taking off from bases in the United Kingdom. Iran has now threatened the United Kingdom, saying those bases from which the B-1s are taking off are now legitimate targets for Iran. As far as military personnel in the region, CENTCOM now saying there are more than 50,000 U.S. forces in the region, giving President Trump a wide range of options. Wall Street Journal reporting a surge in technical personnel, including 150 medics at Landstuhl Combat Medical.
So this is a big indication, according to so many people, that something is about to happen. That the fact that they brought a lot of medics to be ready, a lot of people are saying this is not bluffing anymore. This means that something is about to go down.
U.S. forces in the region, giving President Trump a wide range of options. Wall Street Journal reporting a surge in technical personnel, including 150 medics at Landstuhl Combat Medical Center in Germany.
Did you see that last hit? Did you see that last hit? That was just a tractor. That was just a tractor. I think I'm pretty happy right now. They're just hitting anyone that's working up there, which is what I had suggested. Don't just kill the people that are taking weapons and kill anybody working at that site. That was just a tractor. I'm glad they got that guy.
Yeah, he's work. Just to be clear for YouTube, these are regime terrorists. These are legal strikes by the U.S. military. That's what we're talking about. Please don't take us out of context. YouTube AI, we're not at all for taking out civilians or killing anybody. These are strikes. We're basically reviewing legal strikes by the U.S. military against U.S. enemies,
including 150 medics at
Yes. This is, I mean, if you're digging holes for IRGC, you are IRGC.
Landstuhl Combat Medical Center in Germany. Of course, these medics trained to treat those wounded in combat. As far as U.S. attacks go, another night of attacks against Iran.
By the way, like one thing about UK bases, the UK has completely switched. the UK is now allowing United States to use their bases, and they're cooperating with the Americans against the Islamic Republic when it comes to military operations. I don't. Is this because you guys have a new prime minister there? I don't know what happened, but they're on board now. So
Also
that's a good
opening
change.
oil exploration in northern Britain.
Yes. So the UK, I mean, guys, I'm not celebrating the current UK government or any other, don't come at me like, oh, Armin, do you think these are the same? Okay, I know, okay? I'm just reporting you what's happening. I'm not praising the new government in the UK. I'm just telling you that now they're cooperating with the Americans. Oh, yes, somebody is saying the PM is doing well. Okay, you guys like this new PM? Okay. I don't know if they're good or not, but I just telling you they're cooperating with the Americans. Which is
I suspect it's better internationally, but still bad locally.
Okay, yes. Okay, that's a good summary. That's a very good summary. See, when you want to be on point, short, effective, to the point, you can. So that's impressive.
Military positions overnight.
So that one, guys, this one over here, that was a submarine that a water drone, sea drone, took out. American sea drone.
Overnight, that's the 12th night in a row. Of course, the president has warned that civilian infrastructure targets could come.
Look at this one, monkey. This is just a boat. They're not they're going after tiny boats. Nothing is getting. Look at the tiny boat.
But if you look on top of it, that could be a shahed on that boat, or it could be a mine dropper. Like maybe you could put some sea mines on this thing, or tow some mines with it. So it is a boat, but you got to understand most of their navy is just a bunch of little boats. We took the big ones out.
Yeah, it's interesting that they're. Look, guys, they put for scale. They say 2 meters. Is that 2 meters for scaling? So people know how big it is. And there's also they blurred some part of it. And this is interesting. They blurred this part. What is here? Ooh, into.
Structured targets could come under fire if Iran continues to harass commercial shipping in the region. No progress on the diplomatic front, despite the fact that Secretary of State Rubio says Iran is looking for a deal.
This is what he's talking about. Iran is begging us, okay, both directly and indirectly. Let's do a deal. Let's talk. Iran is begging every day. The problem with Iran is every time they make a deal, the people that are in charge there, they either break it or they want to change it.
Yeah, just here's the thing. Live stream your negotiations. Okay? Monkey and I, we know how to set up a live stream. You could contact us. Okay? If they want to negotiate, just be like, sure. It will just be live streamed. Live stream it on Liberty Politics, okay? We can
Marquito, vamos a hacerlo. Let's do it, Marquito. Come on. We can do this. Let's set it up.
Yeah. We'll set it up for you guys. Come and just say sure, we'll talk as much as you want, as long as the whole world could see what you're saying. Just do that. Yes. We'll arrange it for you. White House, call us. Email us. Okay? I follow Marco Rubio. I follow you on X. Message me on X. We'll set it up for you guys. Oh. Ooh, look at that ship. Oh, I wanted to show you this. I was about to show you guys this, but I forgot. So look at this. An Iranian soldier takes a picture of himself in the uniform of the Iranian army, not the Revolutionary Guard, and asks Trump to come and free the country from the regime's oppression, claiming that the entire army and citizens are waiting for him. Pass it on. So let's watch this.
جناب رئیس جمهور آمریکا آقای ترامپ.
They said, Mr. President, President of the United States, Mr. Trump.
ما ارتشی ها و تمام مردم ایران منتظریم که ما رو نجات بدید.
We Artashis, we military men, and all of the people of Iran are waiting for you to save us
شر این رژیم ظالم رها کنید.
And free us from this oppressive regime.
تا بتونیم ایران رو از نو بسازیم و همونطوری که
So that we could build Iran from new again.
راجع به آمریکا میگی ما هم میخواهیم که بگیم to make Iran great again.
And just like you say this about America, we also want to make Iran great again. Wow, he kisses his picture.
That's sweet.
No.
What I would say is I've been saying this for what 2 months around, right? The artist is already trained. If the middle and lower enlisted flip, it makes vetting and training a lot easier, right? We still would have to do some vetting, but what you would do is you would put body cams on them so that you know what's going on with them, and you would put, like there are ways to do this. We could have an encrypted body cam system, know what's going on, and go through some training. And like when we do some deployments, some of them are very well connected, right? We do have some encrypted communication that stay in contact even all the way up to the White House. This has been done in other operations. We could have some operational control and command where we have some Green Beret embedded into our task forces. This would escalate the timetable. It would shorten the timetable for us to take ground operations, because then, well, what boots on the ground? We're just helping them. The boots on the ground is them, right? If we have 5,000, 10,000 soldiers, but we're leading 100,000, well, I don't know that the Artesh is that large, but if that's the amount of Iranian boots on the ground, you can't say that it's our boots on the ground that did it. It would be mathematically a lie. You understand what I'm saying? So this is closer to what I was saying. We have to get the Artesh on board. We have been seeing this since the start. I have seen you report on this since the start of the war. There have been Artesh commanders going against the IRGC since the start. We know that it would be foolish of them to reveal their faces and locations until the right time. And I think the right time is approaching.
It is. Well put. We always like a Jesse Waters segment on giving us updates, right? We always like that.
He's so sassy. I love that guy.
So let's look at this.
Today, Trump launched more devastating strikes against Iran. Last night, our forces obliterated aircraft hangars, drone facilities, and military infrastructure. Super Hornets deployed off the USS Bush, conducting air-to-air and air-to-ground missions. Trump's going to make them pay. For every innocent ship they clip in the strait, Trump says we'll bomb a bridge or a power plant. Last night, General Kellogg says you can't let the enemy hang around for too long.
Here is a concern I do have for Iran, though. You have played sports. I've played sports. We've watched sports. And you let a team hang around, a baseball team in the ninth inning or a football team in the fourth quarter, where you were clearly the better team. You should have closed them out in the first quarter, not the fourth, or the first inning, not the ninth inning. And the longer they stick around, the more dangerous they become. And that's kind of where we're at right now. And I think the president's going to close it out. He should close it out.
And this should...
That seemed like a bit of a criticism that we should have finished this earlier as well.
Yes.
The United States is surging medics, forces, and weaponry to the Middle East to give Trump a more muscular military option as he considers a major offensive against Iran. Squadrons of fighter jets are staged across the region. Long-range bombers are on high alert for major combat operations. Over 100 medics just arrived in Germany, and special operators have been deployed into the theater. Now, the war isn't won in a single move. It's a game of chess. The Iranians are ideological. They're slimy negotiators that can't be trusted. Trump has multiple pieces in play: military pressure, negotiation, sanctions, and isolation. Even the deal was a tactic. It kept the regime alive to sign the paperwork, but they blew it. Now we're moving new pieces into position. It showed Trump gave peace a chance, and now they're going to have to face the consequences.
If you sign on to an agreement, and
that's a good point. Like I think a lot of people underestimate how much international views of what you're doing matters, because you have such a giant military and like, who gives a crap? Let's just go do it. But U.S. soft power matters. So the fact that United States shows that these people cannot be negotiated with, I know a lot of people. I understand the viewpoint that, oh my God, why did we do ceasefire MOU? I understand that. But I think there is a point to be made here that there was a lot of utility in demonstrating that an effort was made to do this diplomatically.
It's a legal framework. It's a legal framework to keep their money. It's a legal framework to say they broke the deal. It's a legal framework to say they're basically functioning illegally. It's the legal framework so that we can attack on the international level without, like, the ICC is crazy. They might accuse us of some stuff anyway, but at least to our own conscience and to our own Congress, we did the right thing. We did the escrow accounts. We did keep their money, but it's only because they broke the deal that our Congress approved. So, like, legally, this made us safe. Like, and from a legal standpoint, the MOU puts the president in a way better position. This is like basically covering your rear from the American political level and international. The no one can, and they'll say it, but you can't sue the president for retaliating on a broken deal because they signed on. This was part of the, quid pro quo. You do this, I do that. You don't do this, or, you take a bad action, I'm going to do a bad action. You take a good action, we're going to have a good action. It's all on paper.
Okay. Yeah, I completely agree. There is, hold on, let me see. We do need to get an update on the Houthis as well, just to make sure that we're covering this from all fronts. A lot of people, there's a lot of eyes on the Persian Gulf. I want to make sure that we're looking at the Red Sea and Bab el-Mandeb as well. Let me make sure this covers that.
Iran-backed Houthi terrorists from Yemen say they have targeted Saudi oil tankers that violated their naval blockade. Chief International Correspondent Steve Harrigan is in Tel Aviv tonight with the latest on that. Good evening, Steve.
Good evening, Brett. This war is certainly changing by the hour, and this is a most significant development, also confirmed by maritime security experts, that the Houthis have targeted and hit at least one tanker, perhaps two, that were carrying Saudi oil in the Red Sea. This basically broadens the war. It creates a second front and really puts the risk of chaos in the world oil market at a much higher level. It happened just a short time ago. The Houthis had threatened to target and blockade Saudi oil. Even that threat alone was enough to make several tankers turn around, make U-turns, head north out of a longer and more expensive route out of the Suez Canal. Now that they have struck and disabled at least one tanker, possibly two, that's really going to change things. Saudi Arabia had been trying to move millions of barrels of oil out of the Red Sea, trying to flee from the chaos in the Strait of Hormuz. Now that route, at least in the short term, may be closed. If you think about it,
What I heard that the Houthis allowed the Chinese ship to go through. Let me actually double check this. I heard that the Houthis allowed the Chinese ship to go through the Bab el-Mandeb, but they didn't allow the Saudi ships to go through the Bab el-Mandeb. So it seemed like they're being selective. Did you hear about that, Monkey?
I wasn't aware. I know that China has an interest to get its oil from Saudi Arabia. I wasn't aware of that specific.
So I'm going to double check that, because it basically shows that the Islamic Republic, because the Houthis are working as proxies of the Islamic Republic right now. So yeah, here's the information. The Houthis are explicitly enforcing a selective naval strategy in the Bab el-Mandeb Strait by targeting Saudi oil tankers like the that's the name of the ship, while granting unhindered safe passage to Chinese flagged and Chinese crewed supertankers. This diplomatic double standard highlights how Beijing's geopolitical links with the regime in Iran shields its maritime trade while regional foes face heavy military strikes. This shows that the Islamic Republic, the Houthis are, guys, for people who might not know, the Houthis are working as a proxy of the Islamic Republic. The Islamic Republic does not want the wrath of China, because China and Russia is the only thing they have left. They have turned almost everybody into an enemy except Russia and China, so they cannot afford to lose Chinese support. I do wonder, though, couldn't the Saudis, let me actually check this, couldn't the Saudis just sell their oil to, for example, China at their ports, instead of using Saudi ships to take the oil to China? Maybe they could sell it to China and then use the Chinese ships, Chinese flagships, to sell their oil to China. So that way the Chinese flag will get them some protection on the way. Wouldn't that be the solution then? What do you think? Why don't they just do that? put the Chinese flag on all the ships that are going out.
But I would think they have some communication. They have some communication with the IRGC, and the IRGC has some communication with China, so they know exactly what ships to hit. I believe also
But
they're using Chinese spy satellites. Like I think like a lot of their intelligence of the IRGC is coming from China, not from the IRGC. I
The
think
thing
China
is,
is
though,
the IRGC intelligence apparatus.
it's true. Sorry. I thought you were finished. Apologies. That's true, but I still don't think that they would be willing to shoot at a ship that has the Chinese flag on. And also, this probably wouldn't solve Saudi Arabia's all of their problem, because it's not like they're selling only to China; they're selling to so many other countries, and they're not going to be able to put a Chinese flag on every single ship as protection, because that would be misusing the Chinese flag, and then China would be angry with Saudi Arabia.
Look, I mean, people like there's an old term that has come to mean something different now, but in ancient times or in older times, it meant something else. It's called a false flag operation. When you fly under a flag that's not your own, you can put a Chinese flag on every ship. So how would they know if it is truly a Chinese ship or not? You could just put a flag on it. If we're talking about is the way that they're vetting targets, what flag is on it, I would think it's not what flag it's on it. I think they're getting intelligence from the outside.
Oh, okay. Sorry, that's I didn't explain properly. I wasn't talking at all about false flags. Obviously, Saudi Arabia would not dare do a false flag operation with the Chinese flag. That was not at all what was I suggesting. I was talking about using the Chinese flag genuinely by selling the oil to China, and the Chinese ships with Chinese flags would be carrying Chinese oil that they bought from Saudi Arabia. I was not for a second suggesting that Saudi Arabia would get involved in a false flag operation. That was not at all what I was talking about.
My larger point is, how do the Houthis know that that is properly registered to China or not? Just because they're waving a flag, or because they have intel? So how do they know?
Because everybody knows that Saudi would not go that low as the Islamic Republic. The flags are correct. You know what I mean? They like it's understood. Yeah, I mean Saudi will not do that. It's the Islamic Republic would do that.
I think they're getting targeting information. I think they're not hitting anything they're not told to hit.
Of course, they're getting targeting information from the Islamic Republic. I'm not at all. Of course, I'm not denying that. But I'm just saying, at least, even if they're getting targeting information, if the Saudis sell the oil to the Chinese, and then Chinese ships just carries the oil that they bought, then even if they get the intelligence, they're going to see the intelligence shows that these are Chinese ships anyways, right? So I'm just saying, instead of taking the oil using Saudi ships and selling it in China to them, tell them to come pick up their own oil. In fact, come tell everybody to come pick up their own oil. Something like that, maybe give them.
Don't know if that's what happened with the 2 Chinese ships that got by. They could have loaded up in Saudi Arabia. We don't know. Basically, the Houthis could be saying, okay, Saudi, you're only going to sell to China, so your purchases are going to be diminished, or they're only going to go to a body that's helping China. So yeah, we're going to let you work, Saudi, but only for China.
So here's another solution. If you want to sell to any other country than China, make a deal with China that you sell to China, and then Chinese ships take them out, and then China sells that to them. Right. So there's a good. Hey, Saudi Arabia, that was free of charge consulting. Okay, don't sell to any other country. Only sell to China. And if you want to sell to other countries, just use China as an intermediary. There you go, and give them a discount for having to go through this loop. There you go. Solve your problem, Saudi Arabia. Give me $1 billion. I probably saved you more than $1 billion.
I think they know how to boast. I'm sorry.
I'm just kidding. I'm kidding.
I think they do these type of operations all the time. We've been hearing for many months how sometimes these ships offload oil onto other ships in the middle of the sea, like they do. That's part of the Ghost Fleet operations. Ghost Fleet 101 is they may already be doing that. They may be already taking the oil out of there, selling it with an upcharge to other nations. They may be selling it to other near nations in the Indo-Pacific. which is why it would be a warning from economic fury. Hey, India, don't buy Ghost Fleet, don't buy Ghost Fleet oil. Like that would put me on alert about the Ghost Fleet and economic fury, because if these ships that come out of the Gate of Tears, out of Bab el-Mandeb, if those ships are interacting with other ships, we would need more forces in the greater Indo-Pacific to stop any Ghost Fleet ships from transferring that oil to like, if it is Iranian oil, because there was no, like, it could be a it could be a ghost ship, Ghost Fleet operation. It absolutely could be, but it's hard to say, hey, are you taking Chinese oil? That's not restricted yet. That's not part of economic fury yet. If there is, like the president said, in my opinion, you're not helping. But if the president says you are helping and I'm putting a tariff on your oil, and any country that doesn't go by that tariff is going to be in trouble, well, that would mean that India can't buy Ghost Fleet oil from Iran or China.
Right. You know what? I'm sorry. What are we even talking about? I mean, you know, I know I'm joking around though, but here's the actual plan. Look at this. You're right. Saying or here's a better solution. Just end the Houthis. Just end the Houthis. There you go. That's the solution. Right? So,
look, Japan has bases nearby. France has bases nearby. We have 2 bases nearby. Italy has bases nearby, all very close in a port. There's a port right there. I'm not going to say where, because, you know, people get in a fit, but there's a port right there where we have bases right on the Gate of Tears. So we could use it. We could unleash, you know what?
We could unleash Djibouti. Okay, yes, I know.
Okay, you said it. You said it. Unleash Djibouti.
Djibouti. Unleash Djibouti. Yes. Okay. Flesh Interloper with a super chat for you, Monkey. You want to read that?
Yeah. Hey, Monkey, Scotland, not Northern England. I didn't say England. I said Britain. Scotland is part of Britain. Like, I saw Braveheart. I know the difference. I know the English, like, you know, to screw with the Scots. I know that's why they sent you so many of the illegal immigrants. Like, I know how your based Scots, little girls, how to walk out with a knife and an axe, and they get proven right that these people are scum. Like, I know about the based Scots. You think I don't know? I don't know. Yeah, I know a little bit. But yeah, they don't like to be called English.
Yes. All right, let's finish this video because I have one. We're running out of time, and I have another video that we need to go through really quickly.
10% of the world's oil threatened out of the Strait of Hormuz. Another 7% possibly if this can hold up in the Red Sea. So certainly a big development there, and more tough talk as well from Iran's political elite. On one hand, you have the speaker coming out and posting all or none, basically saying, if Iran is not allowed to sell its oil, no country, no neighboring country in the region will be permitted to sell any oil at all. The foreign minister also taking a page from the Old Testament, saying basically an eye for an eye. That's Iran's policy, responding to President Trump's threat on infrastructure in Iran, striking civilian infrastructure for each time Iran targets a ship in the Strait of Hormuz. He's saying it'll be an eye for an eye, striking back against America in kind, not just America, but also any country as well that contributes to America's efforts. And finally, one more worrisome note, United Kingdom now saying it's pulling all of its diplomats out of Iran immediately. They'll operate their embassy remotely. Brett, back to you.
Just getting word, Steve, of the 12.
Okay, so we got that update regarding the Houthis. You need to keep an eye on those Tuckers. But let's, I want to see what.
Oh, God.
Yes, I'm sorry. Just a 2-minute one, okay? Just a 2-minute version, okay? I wouldn't be like, I know this is painful, but let's listen to what these people are up to.
Look, this is going to sound a little woo-woo for some people, and that's fine. But I've already accepted that we do not live in a just world, and it's very likely that he wouldn't suffer any consequences in this lifetime.
Oh, he's talking about Netanyahu, that he's not going to face any consequences.
Very likely that he wouldn't suffer any consequences in this lifetime. But if you take a look at his recent appearances, He's very sick. You can tell. He's lost a lot of weight. He's pale. I know that he had some bout with cancer. He claims he's conquered it. I don't believe him. And I think that behaving as an evil person who devalues human lives, who uses acts of war in order to skirt responsibility for corruption charges, that type of evil eats away at you from the inside. And I think that's what we're seeing with his public appearances lately. I mean, he has a raspier voice every time I hear him speak. And so
good people don't get sick?
I've kind of made peace with the fact that maybe it's not going to be real justice in the tangible world that we live in. Maybe the justice is actually going to be carried out on a much deeper level. But I will say this, I totally agree with what Caroline.
Wait, good, Monkey, I did not know this. Good people did not, are you kidding me? Good people don't, like, is it just people, only evil people get sick because it's eating them from the inside? Yeah, you're right. That is woo-woo. You're retarded. You have lost your mind. You're an idiot person.
That's some Star Wars shit. He's not a Sith Lord.
I totally agree with what Caroline just said. I think the best thing that we can do as Americans is really consider what we want our values to be, what we want to project out into the world, and what kind of alliances we want to forge. I think questioning our alliance with Israel is a very important thing to do at this moment, especially considering the fact that we are currently losing American service members fighting a war on Israel's behalf. And
you're not fighting on Israel's behalf. Israel has lost many soldiers as well, killing your enemies. Okay, if there's one country that we can't complain about, it's Israel. There's so many countries that you could complain about that haven't been doing their fair share when it comes to fighting evil and providing global security for everybody. Israel is the last country you could complain about. United States has committed a lot and sacrificed a lot for global security, and so has Israel. They have been fighting in wars, killing their enemy that happened to be also your enemy, and they have sacrificed a lot for it. Americans are so much safer because Israeli soldiers are at the front lines killing your enemies, you ungrateful piece of crap.
This is not okay. I understand what you're saying, but the point here is America. And America lost a lot of American lives to the IRGC. America lost a lot of American lives in Beirut. America lost a lot of American lives here. So when this bitch makes everything about Israel and everybody goes crazy about Israel, I understand Armin's point. Armin is absolutely right. But you have to understand that this bitch is trying to get attention away from the fact of all the evil that the IRGC has done from America. She wants to flip the conversation to Israel, get you talking about Israel so that you don't understand all the evil that the IRGC has done to America.
Amazing point. 100%. 100%. Great rant. Good. I completely agree. Both are true at the same time.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Finance Minister Bezalel Smotrich was just on tape basically bragging about the fact that they've got us exactly where they want us. We are fighting their war for them. They're not dealing with strikes from Iran. They're not dealing with IDF soldiers getting killed. They're not paying for this war, bankrolling it like the American taxpayers are.
That's
and
just
so
a
he's
lie.
happy to see this happen.
Go on.
IDF soldiers are dying. They are dealing with strikes. What the hell is she talking? That's just a lie. Like first she deflects it to get away from the American cost, and then she lies about the Israeli cost.
Israelis have paid more than anyone else. I don't know what she's talking about. The only people who have paid more than the Israelis when it comes to fighting this evil is the Iranian people. And it's not because other people are, it's just a proximity. You know, the Iranian people are the most unarmed and right under their control, and Israelis are closer, so they pay the heavier price. Americans are committed to this as well, but they have an entire ocean between them and the Islamic Republic, but everybody has paid a huge price. Everybody. I mean, why don't these people tell you? I mean, I know why, that the Islamic Republic and Hezbollah have killed more Americans. Their extension, Hezbollah as an extension of the Islamic Republic, has killed more Americans than any other currently existing regime. Any. These are your enemies, and they communicate that they're your enemies. They waged war against you. They declared war against you officially 47 years ago, and they have promised to completely destroy America one day. And every single year, they remind everybody that they're committed to this cause, to destroy America. And they did this before Israel, before they had any military conflict with Israel. They declared war against Israel while Israel had, without Israel doing anything against them. They declared war against the United States without United States was trying to find a way to work with them. Israel was trying to find a way to work with them, with the new regime after the fall of Pahlavi. Everybody, and they declared war on both Israel and United States. So no, Israel didn't drag you into war. United States didn't drag you into war. The Islamic Republic 47 years ago has declared war against the United States, and they're committed to it. And they have killed more soldiers, more American soldiers than any other regime on the path to one day trying to completely destroy America. I understand that, Armin, what you're talking about, of course, they're not going to be able to. I understand that, but they're committed to that path. And if you let them live, they will cause a lot of damage to Americans, and they will take a lot of American lives because they have that intention. Even if they are not successful in that goal, it doesn't mean that they're not going to cause a lot of pain. The Islamic Republic is your enemy first. It's Israel's enemy second. The reason why they're your enemy first is because destroying Israel is their way of getting Israel out of their way to get to you. But you are their enemy first. The reason for that is because their ultimate goal is world domination. To achieve world domination, they have to destroy the world power, the protector of the current global order. So if they're fighting Pahlavi, if they're fighting Israel, if they're fighting the Iranian people, it's all because they're in their way to get to you. And this is not a secret. They advertise this. So if you do not admit that, you're either a fool, or more likely, as Monkey likes to say in regards to these people, you're just lying. And that makes you evil. Do you agree with that?
Look, I wanted to add to that. That she did two things. First, she dismisses the cost that the IRGC puts on Americans in lives and in economically. Then she says that Israelis have no cost, but forgetting that 7 Israelis have already died, right? Like we have 18 dead. Israel has 70 dead. It's one of the highest death tolls. The only people who have lost more people in this death is Iraq with 128. We also have Oman with 19 dead. Saudi Arabia, 17 dead. United States, 18 dead. United Arab Emirates, 15 dead. West Bank, 14 dead because of this, because of the strikes from Iran. Kuwait, 11 dead. Syria, 6 dead. Bahrain, 2 dead. Lebanon has had a death because of these strikes. So when people are out here saying, oh, we're going to war for Israel. No. Israel did have their cost. We have our cost in this war, and we have had it for a very long time. And to say that the Israelis aren't paying any of this, that they're not suffering any of what is going on here, is ridiculous and a lie. You can't look at a pattern of deception and call it ignorance. She's not ignorant, she's deceitful.
Right. Evil. She's evil.
Also,
anyways, yes. Let me just go. We need to, guys, we are going to go to our group call, discussion group. Monkey, are you going to be there?
I think so. I got to make a quick call as soon as we're in. I scheduled it for 2 p.m. my time, which is in about 7 minutes. But as soon as I finish, I'll jump on.
Okay, guys. So we will be there in about an hour. We got a super chat that I need to read, but let me just put the link into our group call in the chat. But if you do not want to join our group call, you could just also watch it on Liberty Politics, because I will live stream it for people who don't want to come into our discussion group but just want to watch our conversations. So make sure you subscribe to Liberty Politics on YouTube if you want to see what we have to talk about. I'll be there. Monkey will be there. The link to our discussion group is also in the bio of our YouTube channel. It's also in the QR code at the top left. Also, I'll put the link to Monkey's channel in the chat. So please go support the Monkey He does great. Love his rants. Love everything he does.
Appreciate it.
You know, today, as usual, he was on fire. So please go and support him. And then we got, oh, where's the monkey? Oh my God. Okay. The monkey's back. So we got a super chat, Zip Gun, saying Kasparian is a witch. Hey, do not insult witches. Okay, it's a respectable, it's a respected position. Okay, but no, not position. What is it? Profession. I love witches. I heard that they have to. How many years does it take in Hogwarts for you to become officially a witch?
Oh,
I
at
don't know.
least
It ta-
4 to be a bachelor level witch.
Yes, I watched the documentary Harry Potter's. Okay, I say it takes a lot of work and dedication, and you know the school is not safe. Like, have you seen it? Like, I don't even know why the parents send them to their kids to Hogwarts. It's like I don't even know why half of them, like the casualty rates there are horrible. There's like school safety standards are very low, so it just takes a lot of risk and dedication to be able to become a witch or a sorcerer or whatever. So no disrespect to them. Okay, let's be more respectful and appreciate them. Okay, so I appreciate you guys as well. So Monkey, did you want to say anything before we go?
Monkey hugs for everybody.
Monkey hugs. All right, guys, we have to go because if the stream goes above 3 hours, then for some reason the editing software that we have, you have to cut it into pieces to be able to download them. So that's why, like when we get close to 3 hours, I'm like, oh my God, let's finish. Thank you guys for being here. Make sure you subscribe to both our channels. Make sure you hit the bell notification. And I'm so grateful and thankful to all the people who like the stream. Thank you. Also, please recommend our channels so that more people learn about us and come here and join our community over here. See you guys in 1 hour, either in our discussion group or say on Liberty Politics again when we just live stream our discussion. We're going to be talking about a new recent comment by President Trump that just came out, and also the escalating tensions between the Islamic Republic and United States, and the most recent updates regarding what we think is about to happen maybe in the next day or two. So I'll see you guys soon, and until then, I'm Israel Chai, Slava Ukraine, Cuba Libre, long live America, Javid Shah, Payande
Iran.
Love you guys.